1 minute remaining in qualifying. Field is final. All drivers that qualified have made the field. Ryan Pinnell also makes field. And there were 2 no-shows. So we are good to go. Take this time, please, go share the stream link wherever you can and want to. Thank you very much in advance.
Rest in peace, Alex Sinkowski. He's not dead or anything, but he just didn't show up again.
All right, when it rains, it pours, as some would say, as technical difficulties has plagued this stream so far. But I think everything should be running good now. Again, I've been talking to nothing right now because microphone issues as well. Let's just start this fresh again. We're currently in warm-up right now. It's the 2024 Phoenix 166 here at A Squared. I am Kevin Young, joined the booth alone myself.
Just
Had a few
over a
technical
minute
difficulties here.
remaining if you get
Audio
one
for
of
the
those
chat still on because, of
practice
course, it
pickings.
is. But everything should be working out now, as that has been quickly muted. So everything should be good. Everything should be picking up. Audio should be good. graphics are working, all good. Minute 4 to go in warm-up. If you were here for qualifying, we'll quickly run over that right now. Toby Estes qualified on pole position, and he was joined by, I think, Stefan Oberstadt in second. As a good qualifying there, we saw some drivers pulling around here. So we see the last minute bits of warm-up here. Some drivers having some issues here at the very least getting it run. Daniel Michel will focus on him at the moment here. Currently the fastest in warm-up at the moment. Running good on the times. And we'll see as he has a relatively okay qualifying. Finished, I believe, somewhere in the top 10 if not mistaken. We'll check that again at warm-up at the end of qualifying here. But drivers working through the gears here, ready to run this race as warm-up's about finishing up. Obviously, if you were not here for the past 2 weeks, we'll quickly run over that. Jeremy Breo won the Daytona 250, and last week at Las Vegas, John Hagan ended up winning that race as well. So B-Tron has had a domination at the moment the past 2 weeks of the season, and the question is, can another driver break out of that shell and make something happen and maybe try to capitalize and get a good run at the very least? But as warm-up is about to conclude here, we're going to get ready for the main race. Should be interesting to see how it plays. As Toby Estes, currently independent driver there in the number 19, he will be the pole sitter, and he will be the driver that leads the field to green. All right, as warm-up has officially concluded here, we will get ready here for the main race. Let me get the SK open here. We will turn that off, and we will get the grid on here. There we go. So we'll cut to the front field here, wait for the drivers to spawn in here, and we'll get this show on the road here. So as we look at the front row here, as you can see, as we're actually at the bottom here, because of course we are, add things insult to injury. There you'll see on the front row of the grid, Toby Estes and Patrick Oberstadt will be the front row. As we move further down the field, we got Seth Wansing and Brandon Proudfoot in row 2, Emma Kruger and Daniel Michel in row 3, John Hagan and David Wright in row 4, Lily Sharp and Kevin Feemster in row 5, Bren Roberts, Tom Sears in row 6. Moving further down the field, we got Josh Gaiman and Jonathan Adams in row number 7. Noah Blackwell, new race here tonight. Not a debutant per se, but here tonight in the number 72, along with Jeremy Breo, the Daytona 250 winner, in row number 8. Lilac Zier and Davey Hawk in row 9. Michael Lawrence and Joshua Garrison in row 10. Ryan Gomes, Josh Battles in row 11. Dale Markowski and Dustin Painter in row number 12. We move further down here, Ross Baxter and Pacey Wygett in row 13, Briley Wright and Austin Mongold in row 14th, Mike LaJoy and Kenneth Cheney in row 15, Stefan Oberstadt, Elfridge George in row 16, Mike DeLayla and James Kerr in row 17, Bryant Rupert and Brian Torchia in row number 16, and last, finishing up here, Tommy Withers with the last of the drivers that qualified in 37th, with Ryan Pennell making it up in row 18, and Patrick L. Jr. and Selena Thompson making up the last rows of the grid. So we'll actually put this one on, I should say. There we go, and we'll fix that to, instead of time, to laps. There we go, 156 laps. Get ready for us, and then let's do one more quick thing here. Get that ready to go, and we should be ready. One more lap here. They will pace around, and we will get this show underway. Again, thank you for anyone still tuning in here. Obviously, again, we had some technical difficulties to start here. First time, again, operating the machinery of the cameras. So, of course, things can sometimes go wrong. I've seen the chat right now, drivers rooting for certain people in the chat. We see someone already rooting for Patrick Allen Jr. So right now, if you're in the chat, show some love for the driver you're rooting for. Love to see who you think will be the driver that takes home the checkered flag here tonight. So one little extra lap up pacing here. Obviously, it says it's green. It is not green. We'll have one more attempt here. The question is, Toby Estes, he was a force last season. He's a very strong driver indeed. You see what he can do here. He's taking out the camera here. There we go. As Estes was strong, he got a win at the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro, and I think he was in contention to win Dover as well, looking to try to make it a good start to the season and try to stop B-Tron's dominance. Obviously, Patrick Oberstadt with Carolina Beagle Racing is looking to put a 4 in that side. Pacer are going to pull off here. Obviously, still a little bit of ways away from the restart zone, so that's a little bit further down. They will be going on green, and the question is, what does all these drivers have in store? And can we get another new winner here tonight and can clinch their spot in the playoffs in about 15 weeks' time? So we're going to get ready here, enter the restart zone. And green flag is out, and the Bluegrass Bandits 156 is underway here at Phoenix. we have a caution right now. Quay in the back here. It's going to be right back. You can already see some of the carnage. You got the 24 Richie Catania, the 40 at Elfridge George, the 71, the 56 Bucky machine of Dustin Painter there stuck in the wall. And it's already been a pandemonium here on lap number 1. You can still see a car there, the 81 of John Hagen there, last week's winner. He was also involved. Looks like he's going to take a quick trip down pit lane. Actually, we'll avoid pit lane, and we'll have to try to fix that up. So chaos on the opening lap here. We'll take a look to see exactly what happened here. Obviously, a lot of cars were involved. We'll see if we can find it. Looks like it may have been Austin Mongold situation. So we'll follow Austin Mongold right there. He's in that 4 machine right there. So we'll play this at live speed here and kind of get an indicator of what happened. So again, keep an eye on that Mobile 1 machine here. Oh, it actually happens a little bit earlier up here when the chaos occurs. So actually, we're going to stop here, rewind a little bit. We saw the car that kind of got a puff of smoke there. We'll let it play for a second and pause. Right there's a bit of a lockup just ahead of the field there. Ooh, we already can see a problem with it's 1 by way of Brian Rupert, but if we go up the field just a bit, we'll let it play out here, and you can see right there was Dustin Painter. Actually, we'll cut the Painter here. There we go. That's going to be a good shot. And you can see that the black ass race machine of 35 Markowski spins out, and the cars just start piling in. We're nowhere to go. Puts a lot of good cars with some damage. We'll take another perspective here. We'll go on board here with, I believe I'm going to try to find if he's on this list. Alfred George. Well, actually, we'll cut back here to John Hagen. We'll take a look from last week's race winning perspective here, and we'll take it from, let's do it from the cockpit. We'll get a good view of what he saw here from his perspective. Way up in the front. And he just gets loose on his own, gets corrected, and at that point, he gets involved in a separate incident here and ends up kind of getting piled and then hit big time there. So we'll take one more perspective here as well. I want to take it from Elfridge George's perspective. We'll take it from a nice chopper cam here. We'll wind out. Again, you can see the problem happens at the front, and at this point, he kind of just comes in, and at this point, top of the track's blocked, and nowhere to go for the 40 and the 75 as they all pile in and give themselves some damage. So back to live action. You can see on the pit lane right there, there's John Hagen taking service. Handful of drivers, other drivers have officially come in as well, take service. But as we cut back to the front here, Toby Estes leads the way still. As you see Hagen escaping pit lane. Pit report, some notable names. Obviously, a lot of the cars that were involved came in for incidents, but some drivers that weren't involved that came in. Jonathan Adams from B-Tron, he came in. David Wright, Ryan Pinnell came in, topped off. Dale Markowski obviously was involved in the incident. So most that came in affected for damage, but some electing to come in also came in to try to get off sequence. Pace car going to pull back in here. It's going to be on S's control again in the restart zone. Let's see what the 19 can do here. Restart zone, green flag out. Estes with a great launch, and we're underway again here in Phoenix. See the 19 go way off to cover that. Aggressively, drivers going to file out here as you see some drivers getting a little bit stuck there. We're actually got a little bit further back here. The 41 did not get going there. Oh, car gets spotted. That's Lilac Zier. It ends up getting hit into the wall there. A little bit of a push and shove from the 47 to Cheeseburg Lawrence. 29 also spins as well. 28 spinning. It's pure chaos here in the first couple laps here. Caution still green, and Painter nowhere to go. Will pile in, and that is going to be the second caution. So Dustin Painter just got some damage. Looks like he burned a fast repair and piles in again. It's from bad to worse for the Bucky's machine. They still have yet to complete one green flag run here, but just some cold tires and some chaos here playing out the fact. So we'll actually, a lot to cover at the moment, so we're actually going to go back here for a second. We're going to cut here, zoom back here, and obviously it's going to start kicking off with Lilac Zier, and it looks like Cheeseburger Lawrence, teammates no less. So we'll wind out a little bit here, go back, you can already see the effects, and we'll let it play out here, right here. Oop, we're going to pause there. We'll go 1/4 speed, let it kind of play out here. You see Cheeseburger Lawrence kind of plays in here, has the lane to come up, then starts getting loose a little bit, though it's not even intentional. Comes up the racing surface as it gets loose. Zier just happens to be there, and then piles, just gets kind of sent to the wall. And at this point, we thought, okay, that's the first instance. Obviously, a little bit of damage for that. But then it's going to start getting a little bit weird here as well, as we'll actually cut back here to the 28 of Davey Hawk and the 29. Keep an eye on that 29 machine right now. As you can see, the 28 gets a little bit loose. as well in that corner, gets caught out, and the 29 gets into the corner panel. And then that sends the 29 to Mike LaJoy. Nowhere to go. Almost hits the tires. And luckily gets it way down there. And then you can see the 28 lose on his own accord and ends up spinning it out. And then we'll let it go full speed here. And at that point, backs down. It's a track blocker. And then Dustin Painter, you can see, locks up and nowhere to go. So we'll take one more quick look at this as well. Obviously, we've seen a lot of pieces here. We'll take it from Dustin Painter's perspective. I'd like to see what he saw there, as he was just kind of an innocent bystander here. We'll take this angle here, as you can already see actually another instance there with the 60 at Dustin Baxter. He also got loose in that corner. But you can see right there as goes the low side here, just running his own line. At that point, thought maybe the car was going to lock it up, go high, gets on the brakes, nowhere to go, and gives 28 a good old shiner on the door side. So back to live action. There you can see the 28 there with a little bit of damage. He did not. Looks like he came in for service. Back up front, though, you can see right there. Still, the top two has not changed in the slightest. Actually, it has, actually, with the 41 losing pace, I should say. Now the third. Proudfoot will be promoted up to second. A few cars worth noting came in for a second stop there, including Lily Sharp, Lilac Zero, obviously with a little bit of damage. James Kerr, Battles, LaJoy, Feemster all came in. By the way, with all this commotion on the opening laps here, I've not been able to fill the viewers at home in with what the stage looks like at the moment right now. It's going to be two stages, as usually it is. Lap 30 will be the end of stage 1. Lap 80 is going to be the end of stage 2. So that is how this race is going to shake up here. And now I'm just realizing I forgot to put one final thing on. Actually, it was already on, my mistake. So yeah, AVN2 right there in the corner. Thought it wasn't on, but it was on. Gotta make sure we show the channel we're on. So again, thank you for tuning in for ABN2. So it looks like the lights are going to be out on the pace car this time by. Field's going to get all nice and bunched up here. So we're going to go green again. Hopefully the cold tires and the drivers know how slippery it is going in the 3. This car seems to be a bit loose. Hopefully this driver's taking a bit more cautious as this race continues on here. Tobias' Brandon Proudfoot will make up row number 1 with Seth Wansing and Patrick Oberstadt in row 2. Emma Kruger and Brent Roberts in row 3. Tom Sears and Josh Gaiman in row 4. Noah Blackwell and Ryan Gomes in row 5. That will be the first 5 rows here. Keep switching the camera to a worse angle. There we go. So his pace car is off. Restart zone's obviously a little bit in a different spot than it usually is. Green flag is out, and another good restart there by the 19. He goes quickly, and underway we are again. Going in very low in the dog leg there. You can see Patrick Oberstadt going to try to make a lunge there for second. Will not be able to get the job done there. Oh, car hard the wall there. That's Emma Kruger. Hits the wall pretty hard there. Big lick, going to keep it up. It's been a bit chaotic for the Gear Cats machines. Looks like James Kerr also had a little incident of his own there. See the cars getting rear. There's James Kerr. He spun it on the back stretch, I guess the front stretch now, as he will get it under speed, but we still stay green. Back up front, Tobias will lead the first lap under green here as he gets a good charge. As you can see, Proudfoot in second. His car is beginning to fan out here and fight for position on this track. 19, though, looking to hold station. Foul for the most part there. A little bit further back. So hold on this battle for a second there. Looks like a battle could be brewing just a little bit back there. This driver's fight for positions. Looks like actually we will cut back. Stefan Oberstadt there fighting the 3, trying to go around the 8. And then just a little bit up the road. Skipped over it. Then you can see Cheeseburger Lawrence. And then you can see the 74, Jeremy Breo. We're starting the back there. Looks like car gets a little loose there. Right in front of Ryan Pinnell. Actually, we'll see if we can cut back to that real fast. Ryan Pinnell there a little bit slow. Actually, if it gets the right person. There's Ryan Pinnell. He's a little bit slow on the racetrack as well. It looks like it was Pacey Wygen, or the car had Pacey Wygen there. They got a little bit loose as they own. And there's the 40, Alfred George, going to body the 44, Josh Garrison. That was the car in question. And that is going to be the next caution of the race. The cars fan out here. Mike LaJoy gets a good piece there. As you can just see, pure chaos here as cars got damaged. There's a 23 Tommy Withers there. Well, actually, we'll cut to Josh Garrison there. You can see right there, from bad to worse in that Hot Wheels machine. He's had a bit of a chaotic start there, too. So we'll take a look at this here as we can find it on the replay board here. It's all started with Garrison going a little slow on the restart. So actually, we'll take it back here a little bit further than this. Just show what started this kind of off here. Does the 44 get loose? Or does he yeah, he just starts kicking out. So we'll play at live speed here. He gets a little loose there. Car kicks. You can see the 12, Ryan Pennell also gets loose there. 12 kicks the cone. He gets it low down, saves it quite well. And then this, we'll actually pause right here, because this is when it's going to get more chaotic here. Right about here, we'll pause. We'll play it at 4th speed. And you can see he's starting to come up the track here just a little bit. There's Alfred George on the high side, and this is what we're kind of trying to see. Now, obviously, the 44 is holding the line. I think the 40 is going to end up getting loose here. Actually, we'll let it play out just a little bit more here at this speed. And yeah, 40 just gets loose off the corner. 44 happens to be there. He gets sent to the door, and he gets sent hard into the inside wall. And at that point, both cars are loose. And at this point, you can see we'll actually play at live speed just to show you. There, LaJoy has nowhere to go, and he ends up getting kind of two-piece there and hits the wall kind of hard there. So we'll actually take a look here. We'll go back here again, and we'll take it, speaking of LaJoy, we'll watch on board with his perspective here. We'll actually take it from, let's see if we can find a good camera here. We'll take it from the chopper. Chopper's a good angle. We'll play it off. So you can see a little bit further back here, had some early incidents here. And you can see up the road, you're going to see that, actually, let's play it from here. We'll let it play out here. You see Withers gets a little checked up. You see the smoke, tries to go high-low, gets a little clip there, and he ends up taking the shin quite well. Looks like the iRacing gods let him avoid major damage there and lets him relatively okay for what it's worth when we saw that clip fly off. So back to live action. 15 laps completed right now. You can see Josh Garrison with a little bit of damage. Right up front, though, it's still Toby Estes show up front as he leads the way. Again, stage ends on lap 30, so we're halfway to the end of stage number 1. Some notable drivers, again, worth noting at the very least, looking at some of the stints here. Obviously, the top 11 have not yet made a pit stop here. Actually, top 12, Ken Ficheti has not pitted either. First driver in the top 15 to pit so far is Jonathan Adams, currently sitting in P13. We'll actually cut to him right now. There he is. And then the car behind him, that number 25, a little bit banged up right now, Daniel Michel, also with some damage there, came in both on lap number 2. So most drivers here comfortable to go to the end of the stage here, looking to get some good stage points as they contest out. So back to the front here, you can see the lights out on the pace car as the field will get bunched up again. And it's going to be Estes and Proudfoot in row number 1. It's going to be Wanzing and Oberstadt in row 2. Roberts and Gaiman in row 3. Sears and Blackwell there in row 4. And Gomes and Breo making up the first 5 rows. It's interesting to note that if you look at the top 4, it's two Tombstone machines, both teammates Proudfoot and Wanzing, both quite strong here. It's Carolina Beagle. B-Tron has had a very strong past 2 races, currently sitting in 9th with the highest driver of Jeremy Breo. Pace car going to pull off here. Let's look at man Estes in control. Estes has gone very early in the restarts, worth noting. So we'll see if Proudfoot may have took notes last time, maybe Wanzing as well. But he likes to go early. Maybe they got that sitting in the back of their mind. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch by the 1922. Does cover it off quite nicely, though. So away we go. Car's getting the fan out here. And again, the problem with that high side, you can see it leaves you prone as the car gets turned there. Patrick Overstead gets hooked by Gaiman per se, and cars pile in. There's the 18 is Sharp, 44 Garrison, Alfred George piles in, and multiple cars are involved. Looks like get a good shot there. See Alfred George there, 23. I believe it was Austin Mongol that got a big lick there. Saw a blue-white machine, picked the wrong one, and you can see there a good lick there for the 4 of Austin Mongold. So again, chaotic restarts, I should say. You can see the 24, Richie Catania. Brodie Wright should say filling in for Richie Catania. Worth noting there in the fill-in role. Not had a good day. Involved in the opening lap incident, and they're heavy wounded on that 24 Altex car. So we'll take a look here again. Obviously, we saw it kind of in live action, but a good perspective will be to kind of show what happened there. So we'll take cut back here on replay, and you can see right there it's on the restart. We'll take it from, if we can find a good angle here, and we'll let it play slow here. Blips will work here, as it'll give us a nice little high perspective here. So we'll watch here. Keep an eye on Oberstadt here, and the restart gets going here. It gets a little bogged down like the last restart. We're playing at 4th speed. And you can see right there, 61 is there, still there, and it looks like, 40, may have been a bit of net code there at the very least, and it sends the 41 into the wall. 61 obviously just an innocent bystander, held his line and nowhere to go. Cars begin to fan out here. At this point, looks like it could be a caution. Then you can see Sharp. Keep an eye on that black 18 machine there. Again, high side, nowhere really to go. Clips the 61 teammate on teammate violence. Sends the 61 in the 41 for a second shunt. And now we'll play at live speed just to show the rest of the chaos. Then you can see the 44 Garrison, the 40 Alpha Charge, and the 4 ends up getting a big hook there as well. And you see the 41 spins it around. So we'll now take a look here from the other major incident at that point, Austin Mongold. We'll take a look from his perspective here. We'll get a little close here at the very least. And we'll take it from TV. Yeah, we'll go from this angle right here. Let it play here. Let it play live speed. You can see just kind of minding his business, heading into the corner. You can already see the puff of smoke. Gets down on the brake. There's Emma Kruger to the right side. Oh. 23 in the 04 were trying to avoid the cars. The 4 just kind of ended up getting the hook there. It ends up kind of getting sent to the wall. We'll take one more perspective here. I want to see it from Briley Wright. He got tore up quite nicely here. So we'll take it from him, and we'll check it from the cockpit of his own camera here. And let's see what he saw on board here. Oh, just gets hit there on the right corner panel, gets sent low, and yeah, just ends up having most of that damage is probably from the previous incident he did not fix up. So back to live action. Obviously, stage close to finishing up here. Cut back to the lead cars here still. Toby Estes, Seth Wanzing just had a blink there. Again, he's had some connection issues these past couple weeks. Obviously, not like to see those blinks, as that could signify connection could be dropping. So hopefully he can get that settled in that number 9 machine for the 2-time champion. But right now, 4th caution, outside line's not where you want to be. And unlike last season, where there was a choose cone where you could choose, depending on where you want to be, one of the changes A-Squared has made this season is getting rid of the choose cone. So Wanzing will probably be stuck on the high side. He'll have to try to get a good run here to avoid getting swamped. We saw it with the 41 of Oberstadt. We saw it with the 22 of Proudfoot, and now we saw it with, possibly see it again with the 9, where a poor restart kind of affects you. And at the same point, with this being the final race of the season for the championship and all the marbles, a lot of these drivers may be taking notes of what they need to do when it comes championship race in about well over 20 weeks' time. So obviously the stage is coming to a conclusion here at lap 30. Most cars still yet the makeshift pits. Top 11 have not come in yet. Obviously a lot of cars that made the trip down pit lane have been cars that have had damage. You can see the 9 blinks again as the pace car is going to pull off. It's going to be Estes, Wanzing front row, Proudfoot, Roberts row 2, Blackwell, Sears row 3, Brielle, Gomes row 4, Cheney, Lawrence your first 5 rows here. Green flag out in the restart zone. Good launch by the 19, and away we go again. Covers off quite nicely. The 9 did not get going. It is now going to be in a bit of a sucker hole here. 22 going to pass cleanly here, and now the 9 could be under pressure from the 14 of Tom Sears. As the cars get relatively okay for the most part there. 19 covers off the line. You can see the battle there for the top 5. Sears on the inside of Roberts for 4th position right there, and you can see the 74 of Brielle looking to try to make a move on the 72 of Blackwell. But Estes still leads the way here as Sears trying to make a move on Roberts. In the wall, 22 goes, and Proudfoot going to clip the wall. It's going to give the 9 a good chance to get a run here to try to clear his teammate in the 22. And the 9 will successfully do that. So put the 9 up the second, 22 down the third, and now Sears going to try to get 4th, come up and clear the 84. So put Sears in 4th, but he's going to get a little loose off exit there, and that's going to open the door for Brendan Roberts to make a lunge around the high side. Even though that low side is where you want to be on these runs. He's going to go to the log. Look at that move by Brielle. He's going to go way low there and try to cut the dog. Going to get a move on Sears. Can't get the job done. Not to sit in line. And Roberts, though, will successfully get around that 13. So put Brendan Roberts up to 4th and put Tom Sears down to 5th. These drivers getting a long green flag run. You can see still cars getting very loose off of what I guess would be now turn 3. Actually, turn 2, I should say, turn 3 and 4 of this combination. These cars are still really struggling here to keep these cars planted with this setup. Sears, though, going to answer back here and try to make a move on Roberts on the low side. And happening up in the top 3 spots, it's still Proudfoot. Estes Wanzing, Proudfoot top 3. And you can see in the long shot, Proudfoot looking to try to make a move here on the low side. Look at that. Sears going to make an aggressive lunge there on the low side. Going to try to make the lunge work. Can't get it done. That could open the door for Breo to make a lunge here. 3 wide at the moment almost. There you can see Breo taking the shot there. It looks like he's going to have a good lunge here on the low side. Persistence pays off. And they exit the 55 of Gomes. He gets a little smoky there. He saves it, though. Does not take anyone with him and still loose. We'll hold on for a second here. Not going to be able to save it. Comes off the race surface. In almost the Pacey Wygen. Car's now taking evasive action. Pennell hits the wall. Pennell can't save it right in front of the one machine of Bryant Rupert. And that is going to be a caution there. As you can see, Car's just trying to make saves, get on the brakes. Couldn't keep it saved. Rupert with a little bit of damage there. And then there's Ryan Pennell there on the low side. It's being lap 27. This should be the end of the stage here. Obviously, it's lap 27 coming to 30. Pit lane will come as close. That should be the end of the stage. So Estes should end up winning the stage here as we see this conclude here. So we'll take a look here exactly again. We saw a little bit happen with Ryan Gomes. We'll start off with that 55 machine of Gomes. If I can pull him up. It looks like a lot more drivers had a bit of piece in this. So we'll cut back here a little bit here. We'll go replay here. A little bit further up. And we'll get Ryan Gomes here on the replay. Give me 1 second. There we go. And you can already see, we'll rewind it just a bit here. And you can just see, it gets a little, we already saw him get a little loose into this corner. So you see him get a little loose here. Trying to save it, still trying to save it, comes up the racing surface, and then see Cars taking evasive action. Ryan Pennell then clips the wall quite aggressively, and actually, you can see Pennell ends up losing in front of Bryant Rupert. And we're going to stop here, because looks like more chaos happened behind him, so we're actually going to follow the 12 of Ryan Pennell. Speaking of, if I can find out my little battle box, there we are. And you can already see, there's Dale Markowski right there. You can see already getting a piece of it as well. And I think this is going to be a big problem. There's Baxter. Oh, Briley Wright again. Another big lick. There's the 21 of Feemster that piles in as well. We're nowhere to go. So we'll take another look here. We'll actually take it from, I actually do want to see it from Briley Wright's perspective. And we'll take it from, we'll take it from cockpit himself. Actually, yeah, we'll take it from the gyro cam here. Give us a bit of a different perspective than usually the cockpit. So we'll let it play out here. Obviously, he's a little bit further back here. Actually, yeah, you can see as it piles up, you can already see the incident happening in front, smoke happening. Briley trying to pick a lane of where to go. At that point, on the brakes, and there, you can just see it through that puff of smoke. Nowhere to go. And actually, we'll take it from a little bit back here again. You can just see right about there. It's just a big puff of smoke, 60 right in the angle in question, and then just bam, right in the back of Dale Markowski, and ends up giving that engine another big lick. So we'll actually take it from one more perspective here. We'll take it from Ryan Pennell's perspective as well, and we'll take it from one more camera here again. We'll take it from a wide shot here. And you can already see the puff of smoke. Pennell trying to save it, hits the wall, still having it saved, and just struggling to keep it lean. At this point, Cars coming in. There you can see a few drivers, Painter missing. Baxter barely scrapes through. Alfred George, Feemster with a light pile in. Yeah, that's how that accident turned from bad to worse. So back to live action. Pit stops already have already concluded up here. Daniel Michelle obviously stayed out. Most of the drivers electing to come in at that time at the end of lap 27, as it was the end of the stage. It should have been the end of the stage here. Or it could be a one-lap shoot if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see here in a second. Worth noting is the lights are out on the pace car here. So quickly to run over what happened there. Daniel Michelle stayed out. Did not pit at all. Last came out in lap 2 when he had that damage. Josh Garrison came in last at 18. He also stayed out under that caution. Rest of the field came in. Patrick Oberstadt came in for fuel only. Sharp, Wright came in as well. So a bit of a different bag there of strategies as they actually stayed out and missed their boxes. Estes, Wanzi, and the rest came in for a mixture of fuel only. So looks like it actually may not be the end of stage here, because looking at at least the board here, it's lap 30. But with drivers staying out, alternating strategies, some staying out and missing their boxes. We'll interesting to see, because they would have probably came in a second time. So we'll see how this all plays. It's going to be on Michelle's control, though, whatever this is going to be. Green flag is out, and away we go again. Good restart by the 25. Cars fan out here. You can see the 41 of Oberstadt going to try to cover off Sharp there. It's a good block there at the very least. Sharp going to hold third. You can see cars getting funneled out here. Michelle going to get drive away here. And you can see Wanzi trying to make a move on Briley Wright. As they come across the line here. Yep. Stage ender, so we actually, that was the end of stage last time by. This car's being a fan out here. Some drivers trying alternate strategies to try to make strategies work here and try to get some good track position, knowing, again, with the high amount of caution we've had so far, so we have another caution, and maybe try to make a strategy work here. Again, with second stage being quite longer, it makes sense to try to make an alternate strategy work here. Oh, car spinning there. 2 cars spinning in the back. It's way back there. You can see Kenneth Cheney. There's the 47 at Cheeseburger Lawrence. He gets hooked by someone. John Hagan, I think, was involved as well. So multiple cars in an incident. John Hagan, yeah, was the one that got a big turn there as well. You can see him on the low side. So he had a big piece as well of the incident, and you can see the rest of the cars relatively got okay, but you can see a few drivers taking action. So we'll take a look here at John Hagan. He looks like he was made of the catalyst, or at least around the catalyst. You can also see the 8 was also involved here as well, so we'll play it live here. Kind of lets us see what's actually happened. Oh, 81 makes a move. Oh, he got upsetted by the transition effect and then got tapped by that car behind him. But that wasn't the main incident. We'll actually rewind here a little bit, because Jonathan Adams was involved in an incident too, I think with Kenneth Cheney on that high side. So we'll park it here. He had his own incident. Then Adams, keep an eye on Adams and Cheney here on that high side right there. I should get a little close here just to show what happened. Oh, the 76 got loose right into the 8, and then the 8 got into the wall, and damage there for both cars as well. And then you can see the effects as cars begin to fan out, make moves. We'll take one more look here. I think that was the major incident. I don't think, actually, yeah, one more happened with the 47. So actually, we'll cut back here just a second here. Switch back here, then go to the 47, as he had an incident there as well. Let it play live here. You can see there's just John Hagan. There's the puff of smoke there from the spin. Cars begin to fan out, and oh, just a little tap there from the corner panel of the 8 to the 47, and ends up getting looped around. But luckily, it doesn't hit much, though, so no major damage for really either car. So back to live action. And Michelle still leads the way. It's been a very chaotic race. As you see the car getting the lap back there as they go around the high side there. Speaking of, I think it was Austin Mongo if I'm not mistaken. But right now at the moment, just a quick race update as we'll use this time to kind of update where everyone is at the moment. We have... Actually, yeah, sorry, just reading over my information there, yeah. So anyway, we have 30 cars, if my math is correct, 30 cars on the lead lap. Actually, I think Withers, Pinnell, and Hagan are still on the lead lap. So we got 34 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Pacey Wygant, one of the first cars, one down, currently sitting in 35th position. At the moment, we have 37 cars still running. Joshua Gaiman is the only car that has officially retired from this race. About 17 laps in from the incident we saw with Patrick Oberstadt. He decided to pull it off the wall, and for the first overall draft pick, not having the start of the season he was hoping for, but being a Championship 4 driver, definitely knows how to get the going when the going get tough. And with a lot of short tracks coming up and road courses, could be definitely a threat, but obviously not the start of the season he was hoping for. Other than that, though, 34 cars on the lead lap. Dan Michel, one of only 2 different leaders here tonight. Toby Estes led the majority of the laps, and Dan Michel has led the rest, both in the Power 1 for, obviously, an independent car, and the other for Line Power Motorsports. So this field gets bunched up here. Obviously, some cars did elect to come in. Some notable names. Jonathan Adams, obviously involved in the incident. Josh Battles, Mark DeLayla, Brian Rupert, Kenneth Cheney. Obviously, some of these cars were involved in the incident. They elected to come in and fix up their cars. But right now, it's still Michelle and Sharp. First 2 on the grid. They will be leading us to green here with Oberstadt and Proudfoot in row number 2. Wanzing and Wright, row 3. Breo and Sears, Breo Wright, I should say, row 4. Sears and Garrison, your first 5 rows here. So his pace car elects to pull off here. It's going to be on Michelle's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch by the 25. And a little blink there. The rest of the field lines off in the 2 here. That's the angle I was looking for. You can see 3 wide in the side spots there almost, as cars begin to fan out for position here to make moves. And now you're going to see a bit of the effect here at the very least. Some cars with the fresh tires are going to try to charge towards the front here, while cars that they took fuel only or not pit at all could be a little bit of a fact here to fall back. There you can see Proudfoot right there trying to make a move on Lily Pelletier Sharp. Lily Sharp last came out on lap 27 for 2 tires, and you can see the effect there with Proudfoot. Actually, came out at 27 for 4. Proudfoot came in for 28 for 2, and the 2 tires really working out here and that speed working. There's Estes, though, wants to try to get back towards the front, and it's going to be on the corner panel of the 22. Can't get the job done. Now the 22 going to try to make a move on the 41, and we have another quick caution here. See exactly who it was for. Going to spin down the board. I think it was for, yeah, there. Oh, Michael Lawrence there involved. Austin Mongrel. There's the 82 as well. Looks like he got a piece as well. Handful of good cars there involved at the moment. Yeah, Brian Tortilla there getting up the speed. He's had 82 on his thing, but 75 on my battle box. But looks like the problem was about there. James Kerr had to jump the pits. So instead of speculating, let's take a look exactly what happened here. Looks like Jonathan Adams may have also been involved as well. Again, back-to-back cautions. So we'll let it play live here, and we'll see if we can get maybe a nice blimp cam. That'll give chopper. That'll give us a good perspective to see what happens here. And actually, we'll pause here. We'll go low speed here just to kind of figure out. Oh, 75 James Kerr gets loose. He gets low on the apron. Well, actually, 75. Yeah, then you can see the 47 Cheeseburger Lawrence also gets low. And right there, oh, and then that's the catalyst. 47 and 75 both get loose in their own incidences. And at that point, it just becomes a track blocker. As you can see right there, not from there. There you go. As you can see, cars pile in with nowhere to go. The 3 had nowhere to go. There's 29 of LaJoy. 80 ends up getting out unscathed. There's 71 of Battles. Tries to get on the brakes and then piles in. And, yeah, just became a big track blocker with 2 synchronized spins there. So, speaking of, we saw it from one perspective, and now we'll take it from the 47s here. If I can find them on my little... actually, we'll take it from Tortilla. He's a little bit further back here, and we'll actually take it from... We'll see it from what he saw here. If I can find him in the cockpit. There we go. So we'll let it play out here. And you can see right there, puff of smoke piles up, and, oh, he just gets turned. He gets hooked in his own incident, a little bit ahead of it. Relatively had it saved, and then piles in for the most part. We'll take it from one more perspective here. The 3 had a good look at Stefan Oberstadt. Well, actually, we'll wind up here, too. Just going to rewind back here. We'll pause there, and we'll go from a different angle here as well. Nice little, that will work. And you can see right there, he's just riding his own business. You can see the puff of smoke begins to file up right about there, and he's just in the middle of it and nowhere to go as, yeah, it just becomes a track blocker. Again, multiple good cars there. It ends up getting a piece of the damage. So back to live action. Take that off the screen. And we'll go back up to the lead here again. It's still Daniel Michel leading the way. Obviously, though, we've seen Proudfoot and Estes, though. They've been slowly charging towards the front here and making lunges work. So we'll see if they can get back. Those 2 were quite strong after the end of stage 1. We'll see if they can get back towards the front here. You can see a little bit of separation there with Proudfoot. See a little bit of a gap there as drivers begin to file in. Obviously, can't personally hear the chats here, but from what I've gathered so far, at least from seeing chats and other things, a lot of these drivers are very frustrated at the moment with this, how their race has gone here, which has been very chaotic, to say the least, to start these laps, as we still have well over 100 to go here. The lights are out on the pace car here. You're going to go green this time by. So take it from that perspective. It's Daniel Michel and Patrick Oberstadt, the front 2 rows. Then it's Brandon Proudfoot, Toby Estes, is row number 2. Lily Sharp and Seth Wanzing in row 3. Jeremy Breo and Briley Wright, with that wounded machine still up towards the front kicking. They'll be in row number 4. And then David Wright, first time we said him tonight, he'll be in row number 5, along with Tom Sears. So those are the first 5 rows here as we get ready for another restart. You know Michelle can be very strong at these ovals, but you got to wonder, with him last pitting on lap number 2, you wonder how the tires are hanging, and at the same point, you wonder how his car is feeling That machine has definitely got at least a little bit of scratches on it from the events so far today. So pace car off as Michelle enters the restart zone. Green is out, and away we go. Good launch there. 41 got bogged down, and that's going to allow the 24 to make a move, and that's going to back up Estes and the rest, as it's going to be a bit of a scramble here, as Estes going to lose a couple spots because of the 41. Missing a gear there. 22 gets a little loose, though. Is looking to try to make the run on the high side. Going to have to wait a lap here. And you can see the chaos behind as they're two abreast there. 41, the 18, battling hard for third. There's Sharp going to try to make a lunge on the 41. Estes going to hold on to fifth. And then you can see Wanzing and Sears for 6th and 7th respectively, fighting it out. Oh, look at that. 41 almost came across the 18's nose there. Almost got himself hooked, but luckily does not end up getting hooked and will keep the spot. Can't get the run through the corner. There's Estes side by side with Sharp. Wanzing way high up the racing surface there. Looks like he went a little bit too wide, and that's going to open the door for the 14 to make a lunge there as well. His cars fan out for position. Let's see what that 19 can do. Can he get a good run on the 18? Estes, you can see in the wide shot there, Estes still holding their own up the front. Proudfoot at second. Oberstadt now comfortably in third. Looks like it's going to be a good move there for Toby Estes as he's still side by side. Oh, car there spinning. That is Tom Sears. Gets it saved, had it saved, gets it lost right in the Briley right. Cars begin to fan out. We are still green, by the way. Cars begin to fan out. That's going to cause a big checkup and more damage for the 24 Briley right. Elwood George with a blink, and that's going to cause a big checkup. And as you can see on the effect right now that it's caused, it has caused the top 7 to be about 2 seconds away. We'll actually cut to David right here. About 2 seconds away from the next car in line. And you can just see the effects that caused. It has caused a horrible checkup and allowed the top 6 to move. Further up, you can see right there, we were watching that before that spin happened. Estes looks like he had to run through the corner. Couldn't get the job done. Sharp now going to stay up in 4th position at the moment. See Estes not going away here, trying to get a run, trying to make something happen here. That's a wide shot there. Oop, there we go. As you can see right there, top 2 still not changed. Michelle. Oh, Estes got a little clip with the wall there. Flirted with a little bit of danger, could not get the job, couldn't keep it straight, and then tapping the wall. Luckily, though, does not loop it. And that's how the hole for a moment. Looks like they're getting a little racy a little bit further down. We'll cut back here. It's Lilac's here. The moment, actually kind of a little bit further back, you can see right here, it's just a madhouse back here. As cars fight for position, there Gomes looks like he got a little loose there. It's going to allow a few cars to clear out, including Zier, Blackwell, and Hagen. They fight for position there. Ooh, tap of the wall, Zier had. That's going to allow Blackwell to get around the 72. Now Hagen going to try to go low side around the 89. Yeah, Zier kind of gets the golden long way around. That's going to affect 81 going to get around. Now Gomes going to try to challenge back here. And Zier ends up going the wrong way quickly here. And she's trying to keep a foot in it, trying to keep position and battle it out, but 55 Gomes, they're still side by side. So they're getting a little bit. We'll cut back up to the battle here between Estes and Sharp, as it looks like Estes has gone around the Sharp here. It's all on the timing and scoring. At least this is a little bit further up the field here. This is for top 5 honors. Looks like Estes firmly get around. We'll see if Sharp can get an answer back here. Looks like the battle is kind of subsided at the moment, unless Sharp can get a good run here through 3 and 4. So as this battle subsides, we'll go a little bit further back. Looks like they're getting race here. Obviously, Briley Wright got a little piece of that incident with Sears. And you can see that maybe affecting the car a little bit. And then up the road, you can see Gomes cut back to this battle here. Actually, Seth, there we go. That battle's better. Seth Wanzing also got affected as well. He's back here a little bit further back, just inside the top 15. Wanzing is 16th. Davey Hawk there, you can see on the inside of the 24 Briley Wright. That is for 15th and 14th, respectively, as Briley Wright currently has the advantage. As you can see right there as well, just up the road. Gomes not going away with the battle at Zier, as Gomes is looking to try to get clear here and make a lunge. As Gomes will now successfully get around Zier. Can Zier get the switchback maneuver going here? Looks like she's still there. You can also see up the road there, Hagen and the 72 fighting up for perspective as well between Blackwell and Hagen. as 89 will now fall back. We'll actually cut up to that battle right there between Blackwell and Hagen. Hagen held off the charge here. And now 72 going to go way low here, going to be very defensive, and not allow that 81 to get a run here. As the 72 still holds the station here. And this is, after that stack up though, a lot of these cars here were fighting for top 10s. Now they're barely in the top 10 for the 72 in Blackwell. He's currently last in 10th position. And 11th, obviously, John Hagen. As that stack up is kind of allowed the field to breathe here, but with a stage 2 ending at lap 80, they'll give the field a bit of a neutralizer when it's necessary. These battles take place here. We'll cut back up just to kind of show you again a little race leap as we see right now up front. Proudfoot is slowly reeling in. As you can see him really pushing hard here on that 25. Really trying to get a run here, make a move. And this is for the race lead at the moment. We know Proudfoot's quite strong. He won at the Coliseum a couple weeks ago. Obviously not a points-paying race. One of the only 3 drivers so far to win so far in the A-squared season, even though the season is still quite young. Side, Michelle going to go defensive. Still can't really get the run he needs. Right now, it's still Michelle holding strong here, but not getting a good lunge here at the moment. And you can just see how big the gap is behind us. Saw that wide shot there. Patrick Oberstadt, 2.63 back at the moment. Still not able to really get a run. This battle looks a little bit settled at the moment. We'll go a little bit further back because they're getting a little racy here, just inside the top 10, I should say. Sears currently sitting in 9th position. There's the 81 of John Hagen looking to get himself inside the top 10, last week's winner. And then you can see Battles, Blackwell, I should say, Battles a little bit further back. That's Blackwell, going to hang it around the high side, keep himself in 10th position. The rookie and the debutant here in the independent in that 72, trying to hang on to that top 10. Now going to try to make a move on Sears here. Going to go low. Oh, Sears gets a little loose there, trying to lock it down. He will get it saved, though will not shoot up, not going to wreck. He'll lose a couple spots, though. Will fall back to 12th position. Luckily, that could have been a lot worse for that 14 and the 81 and the 55. But thankfully, that didn't end in tears for either. Speaking of those two, 81 and John Hagen going to take advantage of the slight checkup that may have caused the 72 to give him a run, trying to get around that 72 in question. Still side by side. Hagen will get himself 9th now. Now this is technically 9th and 10th we're watching. And Hagen will get clear. See if Blackwell can get a check out answer back here. So back, we'll see if he can get a good run here. Again, right now, worth noting that this battle we're watching is about 8 seconds back of our race leader, Daniel Michel. So you can truly see the effects this is playing on here. Speaking of, looks like Breo and Wright actually looks like cut away from that just a second here. Let's make sure that works out. Yep. Breo was making a move on Wright here, so I'm going to cut to this one. I just saw it pop up here. You can see Wright and Breo. Oh, Wright gets a little loose on that low side. Going to allow Breo to make a move. This is for 6th position. So Breo going to get clear of Wright. So Breo up to 6th. Wright now down to 7th. Wright going to try to hang it around that high side. But just can't get him. Now going to try to switch back. Going to take the low way around. Got to be careful about upsetting the car. We saw it with Hagen and a few other drivers. They'll keep it pointing the right direction, his Toyota. We'll get a good run. Try not to use up that 74 too much. Still hanging it side by side. Oh, look at that again. Wright keeping it side by side as long as he could, but just couldn't keep it there for long. Oh, Breo gets a little loose, though, and that's going to check up right into right. So Breo gets a little loose. Going to affect the 42. 42, no, they get together. 42 gets sent to the wall. 74 ends up getting a piece as well. Still green. No caution has been called yet. David Wright obviously not going to be too thrilled about that. And now the caution will be called. Looks like they're the only two that were involved, though. Looks like Torchia may have had something to do with this as well. He looks like he jumped the pits. We'll see in a second here. But yeah, that is going to be the incident in question that will bring out the caution here on lap 65. So we'll actually, even though we saw a good perspective of this, it looks like something may have happened to Byron Torchia here. So first we'll take a look here again. We already saw it from a good perspective, but I kind of want to see it in slow-mo here again, just to see exactly what occurred. So actually we'll cut the Breo here instead, and we'll take it from a nice little chopper camera here. And we'll run it just a tad, and we'll let it play in slow here. So right here, we'll let it play out. Actually, we'll let it play live here. And now we'll let it slow out. You can see the car gets a little loose. You can already see it's sideways. Good save by Breo to keep that thing from looping. You can see right there, pointing it right, pointing it left, just trying to get that thing in the wheels, front wheels, I should say. And then you can see the 42 gets a little bump there, obviously running into the line there. And then you're going to see the effects here. And so now we'll let it play live for a second here. And right there, ooh, we'll pause right there. You can see the 74 gets a little loose off the exit, and they get hooked together. And at that point, 74 and 42 kind of get stuck together. And 42 obviously hits the outside wall right there with a big old thud. Breo doesn't hit anything, but ends up kind of just stopping there on track. And we stayed green for a little bit there, but it looks like something also happened. I'm going to find him on my name here. Brian, yeah. Well, it looks like he had a separate incident here. We'll let it just kind of play out here. See if he had anything to do in the situation. So I should play it back here just a little bit. He was losing it on another part of the track here. So we'll stay from the same chopper camera here. Oh, the engine went. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but it looks like he blew the engine. And that thing is basically under no power. It gets a little bump there by the 65. And, yeah, inside wall, and then he just towed. So, two separate incidents happening on the track there. One for, the caution was most likely for Breo and Wright. But, separate incident happened there where Byron blew his own engine. Back up front, though, obviously a few cars elected to come in there. We saw as we were watching that. Dan Michelle obviously was a race leader. He came in for service. He, along with Brandon Proudfoot, both came in. Patrick Oberstadt, Seth Wanzing, Lilac Zier, Brendan Roberts, all in for 4 tires and fuel. Mark DeLayla, Alfred George, Josh Garrison, a long time in pit lane right now. He also came in as well. So a good chunk of the field here coming to pit here and can't stay out any longer. And that's going to inherit the lead over to Toby Estes, who will get his lead back. Along with Lily Sharp staying out, Kenneth Chaney, John Hagan, Nolan Blackwell, your top 5. So alternating strategies. Obviously, the cars that came in are either A, thinking they can use their fresh tires here and fuel to run down these drivers and maybe get extra stage points, or option B, use as an opportunity to try to basically give themselves a good opportunity for the final stage. While we watch these drivers pace around here, obviously, again, thank you for joining. I'll say it again. Thank you for joining us here on ABN2. I am Kevin Young. May have missed the introductions early on if you were here early. Had some technical difficulties to start, but we got the show all nice and fired on here. We're having a interesting race, but couldn't change it either way. Interesting race at the very least here. As Toby Estes leads the way here at Phoenix for the, make sure I got the name right here, the Bluegrass Bandits 156 here at Phoenix. So very interesting start to this race. As we've seen that tires aren't really the name of the game here per se. As we saw Dan Michelle really make a tire run work quite aggressively here. So tires are not as important as the drivers would need in this situation. So maybe worth noting when this race continues on. So lights are out on the pace car. Speaking of the running order here, it's going to be Sharp and Estes row 1, Hagan Cheney row 2, Blackwell Gomes row 3, Sears Wright row 4, Breo Rupert row 5. The first 5 rows as they are running to the end of stage 80 here. Pace car is pulling off. Well, pace car's already pulled off, I should say, as Estes enters the restart zone. Green flag is out. Another good launch for Estes. 18 to Sharp gets a little bogged down. And we're underway, and Cheney going to try to make a move for second. And we'll get the job done. So put Kenneth Cheney up for second, Sharp the third. And you can see a little bit of a battle there between Blackwell and Hagan. They were having a battle when the restart, before the precaution happened. They were tuning their battle. Instead of for P9, now battling for P5, or P4 and 5, I should say. As Hagan could hold station there. You can just see up the road as well. Sharp gets a good launch there on Cheney. Still side by side, though, they are for second. And look at that, Estes and Blackwell. Big moves to the low side there, trying to make a move on Sharp and Cheney there. 81 of Hagen will get the move to the low side. We'll see if he can stick that low side. 3 wide they are. Hagen, though, can't get the job done, and that's going to open the door for Blackwell to make a move. And there you can see as well, a little bit further back, Sears, Breo, and Wright. They're all a little bit of a snaggle there as well for 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 10th, respectively. As Proudfoot, worth noting, he pitted for 4 tires. He's already up inside the top 10. As you see him right there on that high side, that white machine. Cars beginning to fan out here. Battle for second. Rage is on. Oh, car spinning. That's David Wright. We'll see if we can get to him. Find him. There he goes. Lose it up to the high side. Curling parked. Oh, no! Garrison hits him hard there. A few of the cars looks like they had their own separate incidents here. Obviously, Garrison nowhere to go. There's Mike LaJoy. Looks like 2 separate incidents happened here. There's battles. Some of the notable names include Mark DeLayla that seemed to have a piece of this. Daniel Michelle looks like he had an incident too involved in this incident. So we'll take a look here where this starts off. So we'll take a look here. Start with this. We'll go back and replay here. This is the second incident, but we'll start with David Wright first. We'll let it play live here, and we'll actually take it from this angle. We'll play it at 4th speed, and you can just see him. He just gets loose on his own here. Car just kicks out. And we'll see if Proudfoot gets a clip some the other direction. I'm assuming he's going to here. And, yeah, rub a little bit of fender there. Send the 42 the wrong way. And at this point, hits the wall hard, that Texas Pete machine. And now we'll play it out because he has it locked down here. And we'll cut to another angle here just to show you what's coming. There you can see Garrison coming on the high side here. And 42 holds it, and he sees the 44 coming, tries to gun it to get low. 44 on the brakes, locks it up right into the 42 of David Wright. But then a second incident happens here. Happens around Dale Markowski. So we'll go back to live action here. We'll let it play out. We'll take it from a high angle here just to see what happened exactly. You can see right here, battling for position a little bit further back. Obviously, the puff of smoke happens. There's David Wright. Oh, it happens a little bit further up. So actually, we'll pause here, and you can see already a bit of an incident. We'll let it play out. Then we'll come back to Cheeseburger Lawrence's perspective. There's Dave Michelle getting a little hook, and there's Mike LaJoy with a piece. So we'll cut back just a little bit here. We'll wind out. Pause it right about there, and we'll go to Michael Lawrence's perspective. You can see right there, he's 3 wide with Seth Wansing and Bren Roberts. And we'll let it play out again at 4th speed. Oh, he gets tapped by Dave Michelle on fresh tires. Sends him sideways. At that point, it just comes to track blocker, and there Michelle trying to exit low. Zier almost gets to the back 25, and there's the 33 and the 28. They had nowhere to go. 25 gets another tap to 47, and at that point, cars are just piling in. 25 gets a little hook to the right side, and then you can see the 33 of Markowski. We'll end up getting a little glick there, too. Actually, a little further back there by 29, Michael LaJoy. Had to find him on the name list. But that will be that caution. So the incident wasn't really for David Wright per se. It was for the perspective of that second incident with Michelle and Michael Lawrence. So anyway, lap 74 here of 80. Stage ends at lap 80. Someone's cheering in the chat right now, supporting Toby Estes at the moment. Toby Estes has been one of the dominating drivers here tonight so far. And if you can dominate here, it can set yourself up to the promised land if you can make it work throughout the rest of the week. So remember, the finale of the season is also at Phoenix, so in July, August. So at the very least, if you can get a good run here and get the car set up, this is kind of a good testing ground. Even though the settings will be different, track will be different, obviously, with it being different conditions, it's still, at the very least, worth noting that if you can get a good run here, you can maybe set yourself up nicely for the main race, in the main championship race, if you can even get to the Final Four, that is. So anyway, lights out on the pace car. I'll stop my tangent there. Toby Estes and Lily Pelletier Sharp will be the front row. Then it's going to be Cheney and Hagen, Blackwell and Gomes, Breo and Sears, Proudfoot and Wright, your top 10. Obviously, Proudfoot was heading in the right direction. We'll see if any of that little click he had with David Wright, if he's got any damage. We'll see if that affects his charge towards the front. And we'll see if the drivers, again, with being so few laps, I feel the odds are great Estes can win this stage. But Sharp was kind of reeling in that 19 before the caution came. So, sorry, 18, I should say, reeling in the 19. So we'll see how this all plays. Pace car is now officially off. Obviously, I've said multiple times throughout this broadcast, restart zone's a little bit further down. So it's going to be Estes control when they get there. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch there by Estes. Sears going to try to go low to cover off second. Cannot get it done. Now Cheney going to have a chance here to make a run work on that number 18, but Sharp going to hold second. This car's being the fan out here for position. And Cheney going to have a run on the low side here. Hagan, if that doesn't work out, going to try to go high side here. There you can see the battle there a little bit further back. Breo and Proudfoot. Another quick caution there. Dale Markowski, Mike LaJoy, Lawrence DeLayla. Looks like a big incident happened back here. Ooh, there you're going to see a piece of Stefan, Patrick Oberst, I should say, with a big lick there on the front end. And this should end the stage. We're at lap 77. You can see a few other drivers with a big piece here as well. It looks like others also got a lick here. So we'll take a look here. Looks like it may have started with Michael Lawrence again here. He's had a rough outing so far here tonight. So we'll let it play. Again, we'll go from usually when we don't have a clue what happened. We'll take it from the chopper camera. You already see 3 wide here with the 71, the 80, and the 77. It's not 47, I should say. So everything's okay at the moment. Oh, well, there's a puff of smoke up front, so let's pause. Oh, Bryant Rupert had a piece. So we'll take it from Rupert's perspective and rewind a bit. Oh, it's even going to be further up here. Looks like I have with Patrick Oberstadt. So we'll actually rewind back here. Does he and LaJoy get a piece, or was him and Rupert? Oh, it was him and Rupert. So it looks like, all right, we have a clue what happened here. You can see it on the rewind here. So Bryant Rupert, we'll keep it from his perspective, and we'll take it from a little closer now to kind of see what happened. You can see right there, Alfred George on the inside of Bryant Rupert. He was a little bit loose already. Then the 40 gets into him. And then at that point, they go side by side. And at that point, it becomes a bit of a track blocker. There you can see Cheeseburger Lawrence gets a piece. There you can see the 21 of Feemster gets a lick. So some of these drivers are just innocent bystanders of what happened with a puff of smoke. So we'll go back again. We'll go back to Lawrence here, and then we'll take it from the 40. We'll take a nice little slow angle here as well. Let it play out here. And again, I believe if we're going to see this correctly, you're just going to see the one gets a little loose. Yeah, right there, the one just gets already getting a little loose here. May have been a bit of net code. Then the one gets into the 40. And at that point, we'll then switch off to the 41 here. Actually, we'll pause right here and kind of let the 41 take the rest of the angle here if I can find him. There he is. And we'll let it play out. Oh, that was the live button. Sorry. Wrong button. We'll actually just take it from live here as well from Lawrence. Yeah, 41's perspective. And you can see the 41 gets hooked the other direction, up the racing surface, hard into the wall. And at that point, drivers just begin to scramble. So anyway, back to live action. On lap 79, lights are still on the pace car here. Obviously, a few drivers electing to come in, actually worth noting. So Roberts, Zier, Michelle, Painter, LaJoy, your top 5. More importantly, worth noting, everyone on down 6th, 7th, 8th, Proudfoot, Wanzing, S. Everyone else came in, so the top 5 electing to stay out. Rest coming on in for some mixed strategies. Proudfoot and Wanzing obviously came in on the last caution for tires and fuel, so they came in just fueling the top off. Rest of the field, Estes, Hagan, Cheney, Blackwell, Sharp, all came in for 4 tires. So we should get the one to go this time by, even though I believe the stage ended last time by. I mean, yeah, stage ended because obviously under caution. Unless, this could be a one-lap dash here on 80. I believe 79 coming to 80s. I believe the stage ended at 80, but we'll find out in a second here. So as drivers come to the restart, it's going to be on Roberts' control with Zier on his outside. Green flag is out. We'll see if the ultra strategy is going to work. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch by the 84 and the 25. Not a good restart for Zier, and she's going to be under pressure here under third, but looks like LaJoy couldn't get it going, and Zier will keep third for the moment. As you can see. We're going to cut a little bit further back here because top three was good, but you can see right there just the effects. You can see the kind of log jam with the old tires here. Proudfoot, Wansing trying to cut their way through the field here for Tombstone. There, Toby Estes tried to go for a good send there. Almost got in the back of the 29. And 3 wide a little bit further back there. See, between Hagan, Blackwell, and Shaney, their car's going low there. Estes going to try to get clear around. Proudfoot's already got around this battle. He's already up to 4th, trying to get around Painter. You can see the wide shot. Estes trying to keep close to that 22, knowing that could be the car to beat. And there you can see right there, Hagan trying to make a move on Wansing. Still side by side as they fight for position here. Again, bit of a logjam here effect. Should be worth noting right now, Dan Michelle did set the fastest lap of the race last time by. Currently in 2nd position. Still watching this battle here, so we'll cut to that in a second. Michelle, though, kind of covering 2 battles here at once. You're keeping an eye on the ticker, keeping an eye on this. Looks like this is settled up for a second, so we'll cut back up to the front 2 here. Roberts and Michelle there, 1-2 at the moment. But then I saw Toby Estes trying to make a move on Dustin Painter, so we'll cut back to that. I know, switching a little bit aggressively here, but things are developing quickly here. Estes will get clear of Painter, and then you can see Hagan and Wansing all trying to get around that 65 Bucky's machine, and they all will almost successfully do. Now they successfully will. So 3 spots lost in 1 turn for that 65 machine. Lilac Zier now under pressure here, as actually should have cut from that battle, as you can see right there. Oh, Estes gets in the wall just a bit. Bad cut there as the Estes, Hagan's allowed to get through here. Now Wansing going to try to slide through there. A little bit of blink there for Wansing, but Wansing will get clear. So Estes ends up being the leader that gets around those 2. Now almost 3 wide with Painter and Wansing. But Wansing going to hold station, so Estes going to have to get re-geared up here and try to make this final stage count. As I was going to cut to this battle, you can see here, Proudfoot got around Zier. That was developing right there. Now put Proudfoot up to 3rd. Zier now to 4th, and Hagan top 5. We know Hagan and Zier a bit friendly when it comes to HTL. So we'll see here how aggressive Hagan is trying to get around Zier here on tire disadvantage here. And Hagan going to try to make it as smooth as he can as the car is fanning out in the background there. But it looks like Hagan's still on the inside of the 89 machine of Zier. And looks like almost Hagan had it clear there for a second. Now we'll officially get clear here. And now we'll go up to 4th. Zier will fall down to 5th. And then Kenneth Cheney a little bit further back here. We saw him in the foreground try to make a move on Blackwell and successfully get it done. So put Cheney up to 8th and put Blackwell down to 9th. Oh, big spin in the back there. Looks like it was Jeremy Breo. Gonna get a piece of it there. You can see the 3. Oh, you can see a car. There's the 24 Bradley Wright. There's Jeremy Breo. Oh, he has a big lick there. A lot of front end damage for that 74. Almost took flight there. We'll see if anyone else is there. There's Breo. There's Garrison. He's a little bit torn up. There's Markowski. Ross Baxter had to come in for service here. The 60 machine, he had a big lick. Josh Battles looks relatively okay, but you can see the 80 a little bit sore there. Mark DeLayla. So just a lot of chaos there. So better just take a look exactly what happened there, as we saw Breo almost take flight. So we'll cut back here. It's that 74 machine. We're going to take it slow here because I think an angle like this is definitely going to be perspective. Well, actually, we'll take it from this one. We'll play it at 1/4 speed here. We'll see what exactly may have catalyzed this. Does he get upset by the transition? No, he's relatively okay there. Oh, it's already getting a little bit loose there, so it looks like the transition unsettled him. And then he goes hard into the inside pit wall there. And at that point, he's just a passenger at this point. Car is destroyed, coming up the race surface. Briley Wright can't catch another break here, gets a big lick. Up the road, right in front of the 8 discount tire machine of Jonathan Adams. At that point, you can see cars just fanning through here, trying to make moves. There's the 33 of Markowski. He gets a lick. And you can see Baxter as well, gets a big clip there as well. So a lot of cars there get some damage. We'll let it play live speed here. Yeah, Breo just, oof. So now we'll take a look from, well, actually, I want to watch on board here with Markowski. We'll take it from Markowski's, we'll take it from his own perspective here. We'll check it from the cockpit. Watch Markowski kind of just show us what happened here, as he was just kind of just innocent bystander in this situation. There you can see Breo go low there. He hits the wall at this point. He shoots up the race surface at this point. He's on the brakes, trying to go low, and Breo took the hole that 33 was looking for and ended up getting a big lick there for the 33. You can already see the engine a little bit affected by what happened. We'll take one more perspective here as well. I do want to see it from one more driver's perspective here. Well, actually, we'll take another angle here. We'll take a look from the 8's perspective, if I can find him on my list here. the 8 of Jonathan Adams. We won't do it in cockpit. We'll do it from... Yeah, we'll do it from Chopper. Chopper's a good perspective. So let it play out here again. You can just see riding along here, and then at this point, Branders comes up, after clipping right, and just going 170, 180 to flat out 0. Bus just blindsided by the 8. So back to live action. There you can see the 71 on pit lane, but up front, Brent Roberts leads the way there. It's Roberts, Proudfoot, Hagen, Ziers. I don't know why I clicked Proudfoot there. It's Roberts, Proudfoot, Hagen, Zier, Wands in your top 5. Roberts and Zier did not come in under the end of Stage 2 caution. Well, the caution that ended Stage 2, I should say, as it wasn't ended under green flag conditions. They both stayed out, but both drivers, more importantly, took fuel and tires at lap 65, so it's not as much of a deficit as you would think. Proudfoot, Hagen, and the rest came in at lap 77 in this top 5. So it's about a 12-ish lap difference between Roberts and Zier for the rest of the field's tires. Now, obviously, one more pit stop still looms for these drivers in question as they're looking to make a strategy work here. So this field gets bunched up here. As you see the field get bunched up here. This is going to be Roberts, Proudfoot, Hagen, Zier, Wanzing, Estes, Cheney, Blackwell, Painter, LaJoy, your top 10. Restart zone here. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch by the 84. But 22 hanging on tough there on the high side. Look at Hagen trying to push that 84 clear to maybe make a lunge here coming into this corner here. Proudfoot hanging around that high side right now. Will get clear for the lead. Hagen going to try to take the long way around too here. And you can see a little bit back strategy not working out. You can see Zier in the far shot getting passed by Cheney, or at least side by side with Cheney, I should say. Hagen going to be aggressively around the 84 there. Could have got himself hooked, but will keep second. And now Wanzing going to try to follow suit as well. Big puff of smoke there a little bit further back. Looks like no one is around, though. So no harm, no foul as we stay green at the moment. There you can see Wanzing going to try to stick it low here on the 84 Roberts. And just a little bit further back, we'll cut to that battle as well. We'll cut 2 battles here. Cheney trying to make a move around Zier. Wanzing looking to make a move around Roberts. Former teammates for Sunday Mountain Racing, now Tombstone last season. Wanzing will get the job done. Roberts will fall to 4th. Cheney now the 5th. And then you can see Blackwell, the debutant, having a fun night here. Currently sitting in 6th, trying to make a move around Zier to put that 72 up into 6, I should say. But Zier holding strong there on that high side. And actually, we have a battle for the lead here. Going to cut back up to the front there. Proudfoot and Hagen, they're having a ding-dong battle here. Proudfoot going to go low, try to cut the dog leg, try to get the spot here. Going to try to slide up. We'll get it done. We'll see if Hagen can do the switchback. Look at that train effect back there. You can see also... Oh, Hagen going to go low, try to stick a fender in there. Still a side-by-side. Wanzing waiting in the wings if something were to happen. Going to go way low here. Can't get the full run here, and this could be a bit of a shades of what we may see in Phoenix in about 15 weeks here, 15, 20 weeks. This may be this top 3, could be the final 4 with how it's shaking up right now. 3 strong drivers in their own right could easily be what we watch battling for a championship in many months' time. But right now, Proudfoot holding the edge here. High side here, try to rip it around the high side. Usually not a conventional line here, but maybe try to set for something up here, over under. Hagen going to try to go low. Can't get the job done. As you can see, as you watch this battle for the lead here, you can see also in the distance there, cars fanning out for positions. You saw on the left side of the screen there, Zier gets vitally Sears there for 7th. Estes trying to get back into firmly the top 10 there. You can see just in the clips there that Bass Pro Scheme, I should say, currently sitting in 9th, battling Sharp inside the top 10. But this is the main battle we're watching as Hagen almost clips the wall there, tries to get a good rotation to send himself low. And Hagen trying whatever he can do to get around, but just can't get the run he needs. And that could open the door for Wanzing, who's sitting there patiently, just waiting. If something were to happen, ready to capitalize, you can see the top 10 all in this train here. First time the top 10's really been this close together after restart in a while, so interesting to see how this affects. You can see just a little bit further back there, you can see Estes trying to make a move on Sears. Still really focusing on this here because it's kind of catching out here. Actually, we'll cut back for I want to cut to that battle there in a second here. But then you can see the 72 of Blackwell. He's going to go low here, try to get a run here. Can't get it done on Wanzing, though. Still there, though. Going to get an okay run. Still side by side. There you can see the battle between Sears and Estes in the far shot. Wanzing holding nerve, almost could come up there. As this battle still rages on. Sears is blinking just a bit, though. Could be a bit of a nerve-wracking experience for the cars behind. Another blink again for Wanzing. Blackwell gonna go low. Hagen gets upset by the curb. He gets it saved, trying to save it. He will save it, but the curb caught him out again like last time. The weight transfer caused him to lose time. He is now way down the field, currently in 13th, and he's upset, but at the very least, did not get any damage. But down here, we'll cut back up to the front, though, as that's giving Proudfoot some breathing room, promoted Wanzing to the catbird seat, as it's Tombstone Motorsports 1-2 with Noah Blackwell, the rookie, the debutant, here in 3rd, trying to do what not a lot of drivers have done in this series, win on debut. Currently sitting on the podium spots. We'll see what he can do with that machine. A little bit further back, you can see the battle between that wrong car there. That's the car I was looking for. Estes not really getting a move on here. He is stuck in 8th. And then you can see Zier and Sears fighting hard, and the hard tough there, I should say, is Zier still making it work there on the older tires with a deficit. Holding on that high side is Sears, looking to try to get around here. There's Kenneth Janiobs, that's 5th position ahead. Still side by side. Oh, there's the 42 of David right there. He gets a little loose, hits the inside wall, does not shoot up the racing surface, though. He'll have a little bit of damage in his Texas Pete Toyota Camry, but at the very least, that car is still not totally destroyed, I should say, as he'll now get swarmed and he will fall down to 16th position. So back to what we were watching a minute ago there. There you can see the battle still rages on. Now Estes going to get around Sears. Sears couldn't get the job done on Estes. Sears didn't get the job done on Zier. Now Estes is like, all right, bet. My turn to make a move, and it looks like a little bit of battle happening up front here. We'll cut back up to the 3rd position here as Roberts is making a move on Blackwell. Roberts will get clear of Blackwell. Blackwell will fall down to 4th. There you can see a lap car. I think that's a 33 of Markowski. It is staying out of the way here, staying low, not trying to play a factor here and ruin someone's race. Markowski is the first car, 1 down, by the way, as well. So if caution were to come out, he would get his lap back. So that's why important he does not involve the caution, because he wouldn't get his lap back. There, a little bit further back there, you can see right there, Cheney, Blackwell going the wrong way quickly here. Did he burn up his stuff a little bit here? Is Cheney's now up the 4th position. Estes made a move on Sears. Now Estes is like, all right, my turn now. Going to try to get around Zier, but Zier being a defensive thorn, keeping that 89 purple machine, that Ford Mustang, firmly in 6th right now. And now going to make a move on Blackwell, who's looking at the move. And there's Daniel Michel. We haven't said much about, we saw him at the end of since you're playing strategy. We saw him that little instant, the caution just before stage 2 ended. He's gotten that 25 machine back towards the front. And if he can get some clean air, that could be with effect there to make a move. Blackwell holds on there. Zier holds on the 6 right now, but Esther's going to try and take the long way around here. Not where you want to be for your Zier. Zier will have to slot in. Now Michelle and his Toyota Camry going to try to take the low side and clear Zier. Oh, Toby Estes gets a little loose there. That's going to allow Michelle a chance to get a run here. Look at Michelle. They're going to try to make it 2 for 1. They're 3 wide. This doesn't usually end well. And Michelle gets into Estes. Estes gets into Zier. Zier hits the wall. Both cars going to lose spots here. Michelle makes out like a bandit. Sears now going to try to capitalize along with Sharp and Hagen. Hagen trying to get back inside the top 10. We know he's got a fast 81. We'll see what he can do. Obviously, Zier's second time she's kind of been sent to the fence by her, not even her own indicative reason. Obviously, once with their own teammate Lawrence in a bang-bang incident where he got loose, and they're obviously with Michelle, who's not going to make many friends with a move like that. But just sometimes racing. Estes, though, will win the battle out here. He'll keep 7th. There's Hagen making a move there at the front. We're focusing on this because this is very competitively close here. This is just outside the top 10. And with green flag pit stops on the horizon here for the field, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. You can see Hagen and Zier fighting it out. Zier's right there kind of blocking both indirectly. They're just running his line. Nowhere for either car to go. Look at Shark going to try to stick it up the middle. 3 wide, thinks better of it. She will hold station there. Oh, lock up there by Zier. That's going to send her up the road. That's also going to block out Sharp, I should say. So both end up losing spots, and that will give at least a little bit of reprieve from this battle, a little bit of breathing room for this top half. Cut back up to the race lead here for a second here, just show you how less chaotic it is. There you can see Proudfoot holding out the race distance. Then you got Wandy there in second. Roberts, who's making a run here, taking advantage of the clean air here, going to try to make a move on his former team boss. Obviously, right now, Roberts driving for Presidential Racing, and his boss now, Ryan Pinnell. These two were teammates last season, and now Roberts going to try to get around that number 9 machine. You can see Roberts go low side again, going to try to cut the dog leg. Still side by side, going to have the low grip here. Wanzi going to try to tough it around the outside. And this kind of reminds me again of last season a little bit. We saw Wanzing. It was between Wanzing and Reynolds last season. They were both in the championship 4, came late, and Wanzing was trying to run down the 7 in that case. Now, obviously, this season it's the 22, a Proudfoot that he's chasing down in this analogy. But as the run went on, that 9 started to lose a little bit of time, a little bit of pace, and it allowed the 22 to check out. And it could be a bit of a factor here. History repeating itself just a bit, at the very least. It's Roberts, though, not being able to get a run on that 9. I think even Roberts was in the top. Actually, it was another teammate, but I don't think it was Roberts that was with Wanzi. There's Markowski down pit lane. Roberts going to take a low move here on the inside of the 9. This is allowing Proudfoot to get clear here. And obviously, Wanzi, since he's teammates with Proudfoot, being a bit up of a rear gunner here wouldn't probably hurt the cause for either driver if that 84 does have that speed. There you can also see, though, Michelle kind of shooting the warning sign there in the far shot there as he makes a move on Kenneth Cheney. A little bit further back there, but looks like Kenneth Cheney hangs on for now. Still side by side for this battle. Speaking of Kenneth Cheney, is actually we'll switch angles here. We'll switch the bridge in case Wanzi has another blink out there. Kenneth Cheney is one of the biggest movers this race so far. Speaking of that 76, 76, I should say. He's up 26 spots. Right now, currently sitting in 5th position as Ben Roberts makes another move. One of the biggest movers of this race, along with Tommy Withers and Mike LaJoy, up 20 and 15 spots respectively. One of the biggest losers in this main top 10 is obviously Joe Biestas, down 6 from where he qualified on pole position. And there's Kenneth Cheney right there, the rookie as well. He's had a very strong start of the season. Multiple top 5 runs right now. He's definitely making a case here. It could be a bit of a dark horse when the championship continues on, as right now, even the standings are just to see who he is. He's doing pretty okay now at the very least. Brent Roberts, speaking of points, Brent Roberts, our current points leader based on points, not wins. First driver of the highest without a win here. looking to try to punch his ticket with a win, not have to worry about points. Right now, still trying to get around Seth Wanzi for second. But more importantly, worth noting, as we watch this battle for second, third, and fourth, Proudfoot is not checking away here at the very least. He's holding station. Lap time, just for respective purposes, Proudfoot ran a 28.67. Wansing ran a 24. As I have to hold that thought, there's Wansing gets a run there on Roberts, and Cheney gets a run on Roberts. Michelle going to follow suit as well, and Michelle will clear Roberts. So Roberts, in a slight mistake there, ends up losing 2 spots quickly, and now Roberts going to have to try to get geared back up and make a move. And now we'll see how it all plays, but Roberts not too happy about that. But as you see, I think he may actually be signifying pit stop here. We'll see if he's just going low or pitting. He actually is pitting. Remember, pitted on 65. So coming in for service here for the first one, the blank here. Obviously good to go to the end here at the strategy. So going for the undercut. Feels at 85 with clean track and the tires at this distance should be able to give him a chance to win this race. So we'll see if that strategy works out for that red and blue 84 machine. But back towards the front, we were watching a bit of a battle playing out here. Wansing firmly holding on to second. Kenneth Cheney not thrilled right now being third. Wants second position. And the question worth noting is, with Roberts pitting, will anyone else blink this early too? Obviously, the undercut could be very potent, but the risk is, with now Roberts going 1 down, if caution were to come out, he would be trapped 1 down, at the very least. We know some of these cars have fast positions. Cheney gets around for second. Proudfoot, Cheney, Wansing, Michelle, your first 5. Wansing now going to blink second here. He is in the pit lane as well. Going to try to cover off Roberts and try to get ahead of Proudfoot, Cheney, and the rest. Also, we saw Lily Sharp and the 28 of Davey Hawk had to read the number correctly there. All in. This signifies the window is now officially opened. I see Proudfoot getting through lap traffic. Cheney chasing him down. I wonder if this signifies pit stops are on the horizon. Well, Proudfoot should cover it off here. We'll see what that Twisted Metal car does, and he is officially in. He's not going to allow Wansing or the rest to try to get overcut on him. He is in. And his virtual crews will try to get him the spot. That will promote Kenneth Cheney to the race lead right now. Other drivers coming in that time by were Toby Estes, Dustin Painter, Briley Wright, all in that time by. So the important thing kind of note here as we watch more drivers come around here, where will Bren Roberts cycle out in this equation for starters? Will he be able to get the lead out of this occasion? Will Proudfoot still have the lead? Did he cover it off enough to hold station? Obviously, Cheney, Michelle, Blackwell, and the rest going the long way here. I feel like Kenneth Cheney maybe should try to cover it off here, because at the very least, we saw the undercut could be potent. He has the speed. He's not going for the long strategy here. We see a few other drivers coming in. Gomes, LaJoy, in 9th and 10th. They will surrender those positions and will pit. That will promote Mark DeLayla and Ryan Pinnell to the top 10. But Cheney still staying out. Looks like Cheney thought he was breaking there for a second to come in. He stays out. While we watch this battle, we'll cut a little bit further back here as we see just as the battle kind of rages on here for 6th and 7th between Withers and Oberstadt. Obviously, both drivers have had eventful days, to say the least. As we're coming in to 30 to go next time by, maybe they can make a long strategy work here and try to make something happen. There you can see Seth Wansdale buried in traffic, though. So he's just trying to get around these cars here. Obviously, 1 down. Looking to try to keep himself the lucky dog at the moment, because he actually is trapped 1 down. Well, he's trapped 1 down along with Roberts and Proudfoot, but for perspective, Wansing is currently here battling this battle. There's Proudfoot, and there's Roberts. So they're about a straightaway ahead of Seth Wansing. So that undercut worked for the 84 machine. The question is, can he hang on to it as he'll try to make a move around here between Sears and Zier? Still no major pit stops for the top 10 here. All still staying out, going the long way here. Oh, look at that. Proudfoot goes up the race surface there, gets around Zier, though. This is going to be the battle for the race lead when it all cycles through. But they are still trapped 1 down at the moment, though, I believe. Yeah, they are. Not the first 1 down either, more importantly. Mongold and Garrison are both 1 down, but not pitted yet. I think Moss Mongold just came in. So Josh Garrison currently is the lucky dog if a caution were to come out right now, but he still has to make a pit stop. Lilac Zier just came in the pit lane along with Mongold and Withers. But our race leader right now, Kenneth Cheney, still staying out at the moment. Now Ryan Pinnell's 1 down, so he would be the lucky dog if caution were to come out. Cheney, I don't know if I like this call because he's going to be very far back, and we've seen this race. Tires are not as important as you would think. He's probably going for the strategy choice here at the very least to go long. If a caution were to come out, pin Ryan Pennell on down, one down, and then come in for service and have the chance in clean track. The risk of the strategy, though, is if he goes long, he's going to be very far back, and he's going to have to try to hustle that 76 machine to get further up. A little bit further back, you see Blackwell and Michelle. They're fighting hard for second. There's Sears, and then you can see right there Roberts trying to get up, unlap himself if a caution were to come out. There you can see him right there, along with Proudfoot. So it looks like we got two battles here. We got this battle for position, and then we got the battle there for what will be the effective race lead there, as Roberts and Proudfoot are fighting hard there for position as well. Blackwell holds on, and then we'll have to cut to that battle right now. There you can see right there, Roberts getting affected by traffic, going to get around Michelle. And there is the 22 going to go low side, will be the de facto lead of this race. But they're in the battle of traffic. Whoever can get ahead of this traffic the quickest is probably going to be spot. Roberts going for the aggressive move here. Going to try to get around Lawrence and the 72 of Blackwell. We'll get around Blackwell. Cheney is coming to the pit lane. Hand the lead over to the 72 of Blackwell. So both cars are now officially on the lead lap. As they fight on here. So there's watch this battle here range out. We'll cut for a second here to show you. Blackwell right there, his current race leader. He is yet to pit along with Michelle, Sears, Jordan, Delela. You can see Roberts, though. This will be the de facto lead when all pit stops cycle through here. If they cycle through out of caution, as we're on 25 to go, now 24 to go. Wanzing would be de facto third, but Wanzing is pretty far back here, about a second and a half. Still trapped one down, trying to get around the 72 of Blackwell. Again, Bren Roberts, current points leader on points. The 22 of Proudfoot, our current, got to win the season, but got it at the Clash. Both looking for their first regular season win and to try to clinch their spot into the playoffs. Except Wanzing just got himself back on the lead lap, as you saw in the far shot. He is now about 3 seconds back. He's going to need these drivers to fight if he wants a chance to get back in this thing. You can see the effect Cheney's strategy had, though. He has fallen down to 10th, and he's a little bit of ways away. Still one down at the moment, trying to unlap himself. 72 of Blackwell pitted, by the way. Dan Michelle is now the race leader. Now Sears pitting as well. So it's going to be Michelle, George, Layla, and this will be top 5. We're focusing on this because this is what's going to shake out at the moment when the cycle occurs. Actually, I don't know Sears. Yeah, that's Cheeseburger Lawrence. My mistake. I thought that was Sears, but that's a different paint scheme. Right now, Roberts will cut away for a second just to show you. Here's Daniel Michelle right now. He's currently first position just to show you on perspective. There's Kenneth Cheney. Remember, took the long strategy here and still trying to get around Michelle to get his lap back as well. There you can see that probably happen in a second, as it looks like he'll cut the dog up. There's Alfred George currently sitting in second right now. We'll let the sponsors give himself some time here. Mark DeLayla sitting in third, and the 80 Machines had an up and down day, trying to make this long strategy work. And then there's Bren Roberts still getting hounded by Brandon Proudfoot. Again, what will be the de facto race lead when Michelle, George, and DeLayla all pit, as they presumably will have to make one more pit stop before this race ends. Presumably. Oh, car around. That's the 4 of Austin Mongold. He'll tow. No caution called. One car incident. We stay green, more importantly, as we still soldier on. Again, as these last 20 laps here is going to shake up quite nicely here in the Bluegrass Bandit 156. Again, last time I'll say it, thank you for joining us here on ABN2. I'm Kevin Young. We are looking for a thrilling finish as the 22 of Proudfoot going to try to make a move on the inside line of the 84 Roberts. They are side by side going into one. Proudfoot trying to make the move work here. Inside line does not play out well here, though. On this side, you can get a little loose, and it's still not going to help Proudfoot. Proudfoot's going to have to get a good lunge there if he wants to send it, or hope the 84 makes a mistake through 3 and 4. But right now, Roberts controlling the lanes, controlling everything. He's looking good at the moment to hang on. Again, Michelle leads this way right now. He's about 19 seconds clear of this battle here. Again, I assume he can't make it on strategy, but if he does, that's going to be a story to tell the children. Or if he already has children, tell them. If he does have children, I'll just tell the future children. But regardless, looking to pull this strategy out here, maybe get his first win. It'll also be good runs for George and Delayla. They're on the same strategy here. But more importantly, Michelle and Delayla came in and topped off on that strategy. George came in for tires and damage repair, so see how this all plays. So watch this play out for a second here. We'll kind of show back here. Here's Seth Wanzing right now, next car in line. He was in the catbird seat last time these two cars battled, and looks like he's pulling a distant third here. Going to have to hope they get a little touchy or if a caution occurs. We focus on this battle. Again, see again if Michelle has to pit. Speaking of Michelle, there he is right now buried in traffic as he's just trying to get around here and make this strategy work here. Actually, we'll now focus on him. We'll take a little break away from Roberts and Proudfoot. Keep an eye on the battle box here. You see right there, just saving. He's coasting and saving. For respective, last time by, he ran a 29.45. Caution is out. Caution is out. This will neutralize it. It looks like it was Briley Wright who had an incident. Maybe, yep, there's Briley Wright right there. He has jumped the pit lanes. Whatever happened to him has caused this, and now this is going to get interesting at the very least. Again, George, Michelle, and Delayla all stayed out long and made it work, and this is going to be interesting how this cycles out. So we'll take a look what happened to Briley Wright. We'll let respective see what happened to caution here. We'll take it from a nice high angle here to kind of see what happened. This gives us a good perspective. We'll let it play live. Does he lose on his own? He does. Hard inside wall lick. Comes up the racing surface. Oh, Tommy Withers gets a little piece there too. And then he comes back down almost in front of the live action. And good call there by our race control to call that a caution. You can see Alfred George there in second. Don't want that to have an in effect and take someone else out of this race. So we'll take one more perspective here as well real fast. We'll take it from the 23 perspective if I can ever find him on this. If I can, yeah, there he is. There he is. So we'll rewind real fast, and more importantly, we'll set the scene here, and actually we'll just take one more look here as well. Same angle. So yeah, just a little tap there on the 24. But back to live action, because most importantly worth noting, we got pit stops here. Drivers coming down pit lane. More importantly, though, as we see the pit stops, there's Sharp. Lily Pelletier Sharp stays out. Bren Roberts in. Proudfoot in. Wanzing in. Those three all in. Noah Blackwell, he will stay out. Ryan Gomes, he will stay out. Lilac Zier will stay out as well, but it's going to be a bit of an ass to get her around here to jump these cars in question. But right now, it's interesting. As you see cars get in the way around as well. Sharp, Blackwell, Gomes will be your first three. Michelle wins the race off pit lane, more importantly. 4 tires and fuel. Proudfoot comes out next. And we'll just cut the Proudfoot. Alfred George there. Bren Roberts with a 4-tire pit stop strategy. He tried going 4 here. Proudfoot went 2, and Proudfoot will have a car advantage ahead of this 84 machine. So interesting how this play out. We'll set the field here in a second, and we'll see how this all shakes up. We're looking for a dramatic finish here. So we'll cut back to the race lead. There, obviously, is Lilacs here. I see Lily, and my brain cuts to Lilac. So sorry, Ellis of Pelletier Sharp. You're not Lilacs here. You're another driver. I see L, and my brain clicks. But anyway, the 18 of Lily Pelletier Sharp, driving for Gear Cats, currently leads the way. She last came in on lap 122. Came in for 4 tire. Actually came in for fuel only, it looks like. So she didn't come in for a long stop. So, actually pit time. She came in, pit lane because of how the line works. My mistake. Misread that. She came in for, it looks like 4 tires. Because pit lane time of 14 seconds. Noah Blackwell in second. Also staying out, came in at 133. And Ryan Gomes also came in at 124, all for 4 tires. So we saw this strategy work last time. We saw it would work with Bren Roberts, for instance. He was able to take the old tires, take the track position, and hang on for enough laps. And we know Sharp has a top 10 car. We know Blackwell's a top 10 car. Ryan Gomes have been just outside the top 10. And then it gets interesting. You got Michelle. We'll cut to him. Michelle, Proudfoot, Alfred George, Seth Wanzing, Bren Roberts. Fast cars, but the problem is they're going to be buried by a little bit of traffic, but they're all on the same strategy, excluding Brandon Proudfoot, who took 2 tires. Everyone else here took 4 tires. So we'll see how this all plays. Field's going to get bunched up here. Cars going to get the wave rounds here. We'll cut the Sharp. You can see cars taking the wave rounds here. Worth noting right now, we have 20 cars on the lead lap. Michael Lawrence is the last one to get the wave round here. You'll see him slide around here. Austin Mongo can't catch a break. He'll be still a lap down. Toby Estes. Kind of an odd situation. He got pinned a lap down, and we're going to get delayed 1 lap here. for the lap that get caught up here, so we're going to do one extra lap, and we'll recycle the field here. Estes, Garrison, one down. Wright obviously took a big lick. That's going to be probably game over for him, trying to hang on. But 20 cars on the lead lap. Toby Estes wondering where it went wrong here in 21st. He and Garrison are the first ones, one down. Briley Wright out of this race. And after that, it's a bunch of wounded cars. Markowski, Wright, and Mongold just trying to finish this race and get some good points. As we have 27 cars still running at the moment. So we'll set the scene again here. Sharp, Blackwell, front row. Gomes. Looks like Seth Wanzi just had an incident. We're going to cut to the 9 here real fast. Looks like he popped up on my battle box. He got into something, but just looks like he's all right at the moment. But anyway, set the field. Sharp, Backwell, front row. Michelle Gomes will be row number 2. Michelle, first one on 4 tires, fresh 4 tires. Proudfoot, George, next row. Tombstone, President's Racing. Then repeat the same 2 teams with Tombstone and President's Racing in the next row with Roberts and Wanzing. Then Carolina Beagles, Kenneth Cheney, and Mark DeLayla rounding out the top 10. So strategy worked for DeLayla, George, and Michelle as they're now 3rd, 6th, and 10th respectively. But that doesn't matter right now. Sharp on control as she will take us. We'll have 10 laps to go. Can Sharp make this strategy work? Can the debutant win on his opening race? Can Ryan Gomes punch his ticket, or will be the field of 4? Way we go. Great launch by the 18. Blackwell did not get going, and that's going to cause a big checkup here as they are going to fly off in here to 1. Proudfoot knows he's got to get around Michelle. Right now at the moment looking to make it a 3-wide special. Trying to rear out Gomes. Blackwell going to hang it high side. There's Brent Roberts trying to get around. Slower pit stop. Trying to get clear. 72, 22, side by side. 72 gets a little loose. Sharp still clear at the moment for the lead. 22 on the low side of the 72. There's Roberts. There's Kenneth Cheney. Remember that he was quite strong there as well. It was running down Proudfoot with a long run car. We'll see that 76 can make it work. 22, though, going to get clear of the 72 of Blackwell, so put Proudfoot up to 2nd. Then you got Brent Roberts there at 3rd. They get racy. This is what Sharp wants to see. Because if Sharp needs to get a distance and needs to hang on, Combs gets in the wall just a bit back there. And that's going to cause a bit of a checkup. Brent Roberts gets a little tap there from his former teammate in the 25, Michelle. Sends off the racing surface into Blackwell. Michelle now up to 3rd. Cheney 4th. Wanting, Gomes gets loose, gets sent around. DeLayla takes evasive action, and that's going to probably be a caution. It is a caution, and there you'll see the effects that it's had on Ryan Gomes' car. So that is, first of all, the caution Liz Peltier Sharp did not want to see. But secondly, this is going to recycle the field. And Ryan Gomes, you can see the effects of what happened. Brent Roberts looks like he also had a piece here, too. We'll see if I can find him. Yeah, he's already in the pit lane. He was looking so good before the caution came out, and it doesn't look like it's going to end well for that 84. So we'll take a look exactly what happened. We saw it happen a little bit at the road with Ryan Gomes. And you already see Ryan Gomes already with a piece here. So we'll wind out here. Obviously, Brent Roberts has a separate incident, so we'll take a look what happened to him. But first, we'll play it back here just a bit. Actually, we'll stop here for a minute. I want to kind of go a little bit respective back here. So we're going to watch it from the 25 of Michelle here for a second. We're going to let it play out here on slow speed. Get nice and close here. Does he give? Yeah, he gives a bit of a bump to the 84 there in the corner. Sends him up the racing surface, and that allows the 25 to go into the corner. And this kind of causes a little bit of a checkup that we'll see the effects of in a second here, as you can see him go up right into the 72. So then we'll cut back to the 55 of Ryan Gomes. We'll let it play live. We'll play at normal speed. You can see he's running high side here, almost in the wall. Does he get help? He gets taken out by the ankle of the train and then gets hit by the 28 of Hawk. Alfred George piles on in. Toby Estes trying to get his lap back, will not be able to get the lucky dog because of that, and is sent the wrong way around. And there he stops stationary. So the same effect that took out John Hagan and a few others also affected the 55 of Ryan Gomes. I want to take one more look because something happened to Brent Roberts here. Caution's already out here. He's coming low here. Does he? He shows his displeasure. Ooh. Yeah, we saw that happen there. And Bren tries to show some anger to the 25 Michelle, and Michelle kind of just brushes it off. We'll take one more look here as well. I just want to see one perspective of that first incident with Dan Michelle. We'll take it from his cockpit here. We'll room back. I just want to watch it from his perspective one more time here just to see exactly what happened. Let the viewer be the judge. So we'll play it live here. Just a little tap there in the corner and just late racing, but obviously 84 wasn't too thrilled what happened there. Former teammates last season, now pit of enemies here. So back to live action, you can see Brent Roberts on pit lane. His day is done because of the incident. Lily Pelty-Sharp, though, leads the way. But the problem is with these laps taken down, can she hang on to it? It's going to be quite interesting to see. You got Sharp. Going to be first here. Profit's obviously going to get the high side. The outside has not been the lane you want to be on restarts. We've seen it affect Oberset. We've seen it affect Wands. We've even seen it affect Proudfoot. It's not the lane you want to be. Then you got Danny Michelle. If he gets a run on Sharp, he's going to take it. We know he's aggressive. Then you got Kenneth Cheney in fourth. Let's not count him out. He had a fast car there. He was running down Proudfoot at the end of the stage. Before the green flag pit stops occurred at this final stage. He's got a fast 76. Then you got Blackwell trying to hang on here on the old strategy along with Lily Pelty-Sharp. Seth Wansing, next car in line there on the high side. As we're going to get green this time by, we'll see how this all plays. Josh Garrison was the lucky dog, by the way, giving us 20 cars on the lead lap as obviously just took Brent Roberts' place on the lead lap. It's going to be all on the restart here. Sharp gets a good restart and Proudfoot gets a little bit bogged down. It could give Sharp just enough time to hang on. When Sharp takes the flag, we will have 3 laps to go. One more thing to note as well, as the Kai's car pulls off, 3 attempts at a green-white checker if we need it. This is obviously not an attempt yet, but if we get another caution, we will have to use one of those attempts. Can the Gear Kart's car hang on, or will the field, maybe a Tombstone, a Line Power, or even a Carolina Beagle, or even an independent car, try to challenge that 18? On Sharp's control. Enter the restart zone. Green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch by the 1822. Gets a bit bogged down. Michelle going to try to make a move here. Proudfoot will hang on. Michelle will keep third. Cheney going to try to sneak it around the high side here. Cars fanning out from position in the back. We're focusing on the battle for lead. Lapped out car. Brent Roberts there up the road here. Could play a bit of a factor if it catches up here. Sharp going to come around. There's Seth Wansing way in the brakes there, way high in the zone. He's going to hit the wall hard. Locked it up. We stay green, though, as we've hit 2 to go. Cars will fan around. Just want to make sure no one involves in an incident here. Back to the front, though. Sharp, though, gets a poor run. It's going to affect Proudfoot. Proudfoot going to try to hang around the high side here. Roberts going to get out of the way. Oh, Proudfoot gets in the Roberts. As they come around here. You can see the 18. Oh, Michelle gets in the Roberts again. Oh, no. That stays green at the moment. Looks like the caution will not come out as we are going to get ready and take the final lap here. Sharp hanging out. We got Proudfoot and Cheney. Final lap brought to you by Smeal Racing Designs. And we'll see how this finishes up. Kenneth Cheney going to go way low on the inside here. Going to try to make a move. Gets 2 locked up. Goes way aggressive in the outside wall. Takes Cheney out of contention. It's going to be Sharp and Proudfoot to the line here as see Blackwell in a distant third if they touch. As they come for the last corner. Well, aggressive will Proudfoot be. Going to be just a little bit too far back as Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp is going to come off the last corner and she is going to win the Bluegrass 156 with Proudfoot in second and Blackwell rounding out third. Sharp made the strategy work there. She played it to perfection, and she ends up getting the win there. She's going to be smiling from ear to ear, and now she just got Gear Cats their first win as a team, by the way. That's more importantly. But secondly, it could be, she's already locked in the playoffs, so she does not have to worry about the next 15 weeks. She is smiling from ear to ear because she just locked herself into the playoffs, and Gear Cats just got their first win as constructors, so I know Emma Kruger, who's probably in the chat right now, is very happy to see her teammate in the 18 win this race. So she is going to burn it down here and celebrate hard here. Big win for the 18. Ooh, wrong graphic there. There we go. So you can see her burn it down here again. Probably smile from ear to ear. And honestly, I will say this right now, at the very least, before this broadcast started, She decided it was kind of a little cheeky at the very least here. She decided to park it in victory lane early on before the race started. And, well, she'll now get to go back there as a race winner. So, smiles all around. And lastly, kind of keep the theme of the playoffs going here. A lot of these drivers are going to kind of take this in the note in the back of their mind. If we get a late race caution, it may be better to maybe stay out if there's enough laps left instead of coming in. But obviously, spring race is a bit different than fall race, and we'll see how it all plays. But definitely, some drivers have been frustrated. Some drivers are angry with what's happened. But I know for a fact, Sharp, Blackwell, and Proudfoot are going to be quite felt. Speaking of those three, if you're still present with us, do not go anywhere. You're going to hear from hopefully those three if we can. I'm not 100% Blackwell. We'll see if he's up for an interview. But we definitely know we'll probably hear from Proudfoot and Sharp, though, and hear their thoughts about this race. And we'll see from their opinions we see Sharp finish this up. So don't go anywhere. We'll get this interview session going in just a few moments' time. As Alyssa Pelty-Sharp violates safety laws there, is burning out the pit lane. She will now take her rightful place in pit lane. Don't want to trash the car now this close to the pit lane. She'll try to fire it back up here and get up the ramp. And while she does that, we'll hear from, well, actually, first I'll put this up first. And then we'll hear from our third place finisher here. We'll hear from Noah Blackwell in just a second here. Just 1 second. If I can find it. There we go. Podium interviews brought to you by DRS Upholstery. And we'll hear from our third place finisher, Noah Blackwell, as Alyssa Pelty-Sharp pulls in victory lane. Noah, this is Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right. Well, welcome, Noah. You obviously, this is your debutante race here, at the very least in the main series. You probably have a lot of thoughts, but we'll start off with how it started at the beginning. You had an all right qualifying run at the very least, but how did the track feel out there? What was your opinions with the track? Because we saw a lot of drivers struggling early on with the conditions.
To be honest, I was just trying to get through it all. No, the race was really fun. Everybody was really great, except for a few people who were wrecked, but that happens. The car felt great. I was really blown away with it because usually I suck at saving tire, and the tire just kept on saving itself. So I don't really know what happened there, but overall, pretty fun. Had a great time. I think I'm gonna pay my entry fee.
Oh, good. So good. We'll probably see here again. Obviously, rocking the 72. Great number, by the way. Great choice, as is a broadcast favorite around here.
Thank you.
Secondly, we'll move on, though, a little bit further down. Obviously, we saw differing strategies play out here with the tires. So kind of take us out, because we obviously saw you late on take the strategy and go a no call and stay out, and it worked out quite well. But did you feel like old tires could really hang on against new tires, or did you feel like at a certain point that fresh tires were the way to go?
No, fresh tires were the way to go. I just kind of gambled, and I guess it paid off because Cheney decided to do a Cheney thing. But yeah, it paid off. Staying out was a really good call.
Quite literally, indeed. Continue on with our thought process here. Continuing on, I should say. Obviously, we saw those last couple laps to be very chaotic, if you will. Kind of take us through the last 3 laps there. You were kind of just sitting at distance 6, and next thing you know, with chaos with Michelle and Roberts, and then Kenneth Cheney, Seth Wansing, all these having mistakes, you kind of just, the seas parted, and you took home a nice P3. So kind of take us through that last few laps in your perspective.
Yeah, on 154, going into turn 3, I think it was, I was trying to clear Seth, and I guess I might have put it in a little too deep. I didn't have any intent of like pushing him down further in there. That was not my intent, especially on my first race, because I know you don't want to do that on your first race. But when Cheney was going all over the place, I was like, Cheney, come on, save it, save it, save it, save it. And then he sent it in on him. I was like, oh my God, I might have a chance. Luckily, he didn't wreck the number 18, but I still came out with P3. I was hyped. You should have heard me in the chat. I was screaming.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Yeah, it definitely, obviously, being a strong debutante there, quite literally going a P3 is definitely a smile face. But you were continuing on. Anything else you want to add there?
No, I think
Okay.
that's it.
All right, perfect. Lastly, we'll move on, as obviously next week, I'll pull up the calendar real fast here, unless you can tell me where we're going next week. It's going to be an interesting race indeed. I think, Pocono. They're going to Pocono next week. So if you obviously said you were happy with the series and you were happy maybe paying the entry fee, if you do continue to race on, what is your thoughts with next week's race at Pocono?
I got to practice. I'm not very good at Pocono, to be honest with you.
Fair. Obviously, I've seen a lot of drivers come in here and said, "Hey, I'm not good at this track," and next thing you know, they walk the field. So maybe we'll be talking about their return.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Obviously, it is Pocono. I just want to confirm that is correct. Obviously, since you are new here, since it is ABN tradition, if there's anyone you want to thank, sponsors, family, friends, what have you, the floor is yours. Take it away, Blackwell.
I'd like to thank Cheney for introducing me to this wonderful league. It's very fun. Thank you, the broadcaster, for putting this for broadcasting it. It's a great show. I hope it was a really good show. And then njbdesigns.com, my paint shop, and that's it.
Alrighty, well, good talking to you, Noah Blackwell, and obviously you keep rocking the 72 proudly, and if we see you next week, maybe we'll be talking to you next week at Pocono, maybe you'll get another podium, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But you take care and have a good rest of your week.
You too.
All right, that was Noah Blackwell, our third place finisher, and we will nicely now move on to our second place driver, if I can find the podium here. We'll move on to Brandon Proudfoot, who came in P2, had a strong car, was hoping to get the win, but couldn't get the win tonight. Brandon, this is Kevin in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Kevin.
Alrighty, well, obviously, you had a very strong car here. We saw it throughout the day, but obviously, we'll start at the very beginning here. Again, I asked Noah this question. I'll ask you the same question. How did the track feel out there for you with the setup in the cars? We saw a lot of drivers struggling early on. What was your thoughts about the track here?
Honestly, early on, it was just a lot of people being overzealous. The car, for the first, I'd say, 10 to 15 laps, especially under traffic, it was a very, very tight car. A lot of people locking up the fronts and just trying to brake at the 100 mark, say, instead of the 250 mark on the fresh tires. And then as your laps got on, the car hit to a balanced state, and then depending if you were a chase car or a chased car would depend on how far or how short that balance would stay. And then it would start to get a little bit out of the corners, but your front tires really, it was, I think, on the driver as well as if you were chasing more than you were doing being followed. That would have decided that, but definitely a balance movement for sure throughout the night.
Mm-hmm. We'll move on. Again, I asked Noah a similar question. I'll ask you the same question again. We saw kind of some drivers like Michelle and Fielders take the strategy on old tires, and we saw you lean heavily to getting the new tires. So we saw Noah say he gambled, new tires the way to go. I'll ask you the same question. Do you think old tires could work on a certain run of distance, or did you really feel like new tires, you have to have new tires?
I think it really comes down to that balance. If you were really, really loose, chances are that you're really laying on that left rear, because whenever the car gets loose, your G-forces shift to that left side of the car, and that'll wear your left rear out a lot more than your right rear. But if you're keeping the car balanced and your wheels kind of straight coming out of the corner, you're going to be laying on that right rear a good bit. So, actually ended up taking 2 tires twice tonight compared to the 4 there at the second stage. So I think it really came down to personal preference, kind of, because both times I took 2. One time Seth took 4. Other times we took none. Both me and him had different strategies, and we still were up towards the front for the both of us at the end of the day. So I think it's on a mix between driver preference as well as skill and just ultimately situational. Like if you pit on lap 90 or 105, it's there was just so many variables there at the beginning that threw the strategies all around. So just a toss up really in general.
Well, yeah, we definitely saw that work out as well, and obviously, it didn't work out great for you here with the new tire, but obviously played out somewhat to a factor. Moving on, though, I'm going to, because we saw you had a very strong car, and we saw you were battling Bren Roberts with about 15 to go before the caution came out, and then the caution came out. So kind of take us through that mind there between the 15 and obviously for the next caution, like in that strategy, because we saw you battling Bren. Do you think you could, got around Bren? Or do you think the caution was kind of a saving grace to give you a chance to refire off?
On the long run, I definitely think it would have went down towards the end with me and him. As I mentioned before, those first 10, 15 laps, both cars are tight. Doesn't matter if you're the chase car or the chase chased car.
Mm-hmm.
But after that 15 laps, you get that leeway to where, depending on who you are, your balance might shift one way or the other depending on the situation. And the stint we had, I believe, there at the end was about 35 to 40 laps. So the fact that I was really on his bumper, making him loose come out of the corner, it's possible that he could have had his rear end fall off. But Brett is also an amazing driver, and obviously me and him had amazing discipline. We were within inches of one another several times. So I don't doubt that he would have had the self-discipline to have that throttle control despite that I'm behind him. But I definitely think it would have been fun for the rest of the way, and I wish we did have the chance to go the rest of the way for the end there.
It was jamming up the good battle there, and obviously it didn't work out that way, but obviously hopefully we can run it back another week. Speaking of, we'll move on then to the final restart we had with 3 laps to go. You were on the outside of row 1, and I was talking about the broadcast. That outside line is not where you want to be on a restart. You kind of get a bit bogged down and leaves you under threat if you don't time it right from under pressure from the car on the inside. So take us through that last couple laps in your perspective from the restart to how it finished up and what was happening with the chaos behind you and around you.
Honestly, the big thing I have to take akin to my driver history, to be honest. A lot of guys here in the A Squared Cup Series, I'd like to say that they're used to seeing their restarts and looking straight ahead of them. And some people can't always be that chase car, or not the chase car, the lead car on those restarts because they might not be used to it. They might not be driving VR. I'm fortunate I'm one of the drivers that do run VR, so I can actually look to my left and watch Peltier sharpen those restarts. When they fire, I can have the same reaction time as those guys behind me. My background, I come from a dirt background. I have several years in the Pro Series scene for the dirt late models, and all those restarts, because the tracks are so small, you're always actually looking left. So being on that front row for me, even if it is a track like here at Phoenix, it actually is the most comfortable for me because it is such a natural way of doing a restart because of all the years of racing I've done, both on the sim and in real life on the dirt scene.
Fair. Obviously, yeah, that definitely helped you off, and obviously you had a good try to finish, so you tried to make a move there, couldn't get it done on sharp. Speaking of moving on to next week, obviously you've won one so far this season at the Coliseum, but obviously you're still not won a points-paying race yet. What is your thoughts on Pocono, where you're going next week? What are your thoughts on Pocono? Do you think you can finally get that first regular season win here in that number 22? Well, obviously you won last season, but obviously in this season, can you think you get a win there at Pocono?
It's definitely what I'm looking forward to. If I'm not mistaken, Pocono was later in the schedule last year, and that was actually my debut race in, I want to say, the HTL Cup Series, and I got wrecked out of the lead there. So it's definitely one of the tracks that I look forward to. It's also technically a home track for me because I'm a PA boy. So again, definitely just something to look forward to. Depending on the set, it also could be a very, very loose car, could be a tight car. But either way, it's a very, very technical track, and there's going to be a lot of discipline. Guys like Bren Roberts is going to shine, especially in that kink in certain places. So different people to look out for, just like kind of we had this week. And will be another fun week for sure here in the A Squared Cup Series.
Yep, that's definitely going to be an interesting race at the very least. Obviously, it is ABN tradition. If there's anyone you want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, pets, what have you, the floor is yours. Take it away, Brandon.
First and foremost, Bren, great race, buddy. I'd like to thank everybody over at Tombstone, Smeel Racing Designs for having the car for the Twisted Metal up in P2 tonight. All the sponsors that do Tombstone, everything in the background there. You guys here at ABN for having the broadcast for the A Squared Cup Series. Obviously, everybody that does stuff here in the background, Kent doing race control, anybody else that does stuff in the hauler, post-race, replay review, and fiance, friends, and family that root me on.
Fair.
And hope everybody has a good night here, and off to Pocono for next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night as well. Take care, Brandon. Obviously, if we see you in Poke next week, maybe you'll be talking Victory Lane as well. But you have a good rest of your week, and hope we get geared up for Pocono.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. Anyway, that was Brandon Proudfoot for second place, and we will now move on to our race winner. she held the field correctly, and she will be taking home the win here. We'll move on to our race winner, Alyssa Peltier-Sharp. Alyssa Peltier-Sharp, we'll hear what her thoughts on the race was. Alyssa, this is Kevin in the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I have a copy.
All righty, you're probably smiling ear to ear right now, but obviously we'll have to go through the race itself here and talk about the perspective of that before we get to the main bread and butter. Obviously, you qualified P10, had a strong qualifying at the very least, P10 there, obviously just outside, inside row 5. How'd the track feel out there as well? Obviously, again, it was very chaotic early on, a lot of cautions, drivers not being patient. How'd the car feel for you in those opening laps? Did you feel like it was a bit of a handful, or did you feel like maybe as this one we can get a good run going, you could definitely tame this car and make it competitive?
Opening laps, like sort of the opening of the stints, were usually my strongest point. Just sort of in the runs, I was certainly getting a lot of loose, just sort of entering and exiting just because of my brake bias, and then just being a bit too over on the throttle, which actually really hurt me. In fact, sort of part of my strategy kind of got ruined when I'd accidentally taken a set of tires in one of the first cautions, thinking I had them unchecked, or at least I thought they were unchecked, but must have rechecked themselves. So I was one set less than tires, less than everyone else, which I honestly thought would hurt me on a green white checkered, or a late race restart. Honestly, though, it was chaos, that race, and I'm just glad we survived at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, again, I asked the same question to third place finisher Noah, second place finisher Brandon. I'm going to ask you the same question. Old tires versus new tires. You obviously rolled the gamble late on the old tires, and it seemed to work. And we saw early on with drivers maybe a 10, 15 lap deficit, they were able to make the old tires last longer, per se. If you had an extra set, obviously you gambled on the point here, but in certain points on a race, did you feel like you could get away with old tires and be competitive, or was it new tires all the way? Like you wanted those fresh tires?
Depending really on how you ran the car, if it felt like stable to the point of where the caution came out, yes, you could get away with older tires, but you really couldn't mount a charge to the front. What really saved me was learning from Estes with his restarts. When he was restarting first gear on the inside, he could get such a launch. It sort of made me thankful that I couldn't pit, because I knew that the old tires can handle a first gear launch if you've looked after them.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I was like, right, green white checkers, late race cautions. That restart is going to win or lose you the race. If you can get a good enough lead just from your launch, they aren't, unless you make some mistakes, they aren't really going to close you down quick enough for new tires to matter, which I'm thankful worked in my favor tonight.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, obviously we saw that last caution come out at lap 15. And, well, we had one more caution, but the major caution that came at lap 15 was bad between Roberts and Proudfoot. And we saw you elect to stay out. So kind of take us through your thought process there. You were obviously saying you felt confident with restarts and get a launch off in first gear if you took care of the tires. But if you were riding around, at what point you decided, all right, I'm staying out if a caution comes out, or was there maybe a consideration that you were coming in? How long did you decide that you were going to stay out? Like, what made you decide to stay out is, I guess, my question.
My last pit stop used my last set of tires. Like I said, I actually used a set of tires through iRacing messing up one of the first cautions. So then I was really backpedaling because I had to take tires at the stage twice. Then, of course, my final pit stop that put me out of tires. So I was kind of just in that situation where I'm like, I've gotten the tires. I'm forced to stay out. I decided to look after my tires in that last stint just so I can make sure they could handle first gear launches, just in case the off chance that I was the leader coming to restarts, I could actually get those launches needed to stay out front.
Mm-hmm. And then got a few more questions here. Lastly, obviously, we saw with 3 to go, you got that good launch like you were talking about, but take us through that perspective. Do you feel like because we saw a lot of chaos happen behind you, were you A, worried if another restart would happen, you couldn't get the same launch, or B, kind of get a point, if it stayed green, which it did, were you worried that you were going to get caught by Proudfoot or someone else?
Why I wasn't really worried about another caution because I knew that restart could be strong enough. Nor really was I too worried about being caught until I accidentally started sliding my rears a bit more than I would have liked, which then just started to get the back end out a bit more. That's sort of with like that final restart was what was worrying me because I knew then he'd be able to get a run on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'd be able to constantly, drive the corner, drive the exit better than me because of those new tires giving the grip. I'm glad I had enough laps. I don't think I could have held on for one more.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of, obviously you did hang on to one more. You ended up winning this race quite nicely and strongly indeed. Obviously, before I'll ask one more question real fast, and then we'll move on to the final thing. Obviously, Pocono next week. Obviously, you got your win. You're locked into the playoffs, per se. So how do you feel about Pocono? Do you think we've seen you kind of strong there in Champ Car machinery, and other machinery. How do you feel about Pocono? Do you think it's a chance we see you go back-to-back?
It's an okay track for me. I wouldn't say it's one of my strongest tracks. My strong suits are sort of Indianapolis and the short tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Really my wheelhouse. Of course I'd like to go back to back, but I don't really see it happening. I'd probably sell for top 5, maybe top 10, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did. Well, at the very least, it's good optimism to have. Obviously, you won the first race for Gear Cats as a constructor in the A Square Cup Series. Good for you on that point as well. And we also saw you peeking around victory lane before the race started there, as we have eyes around the track at the very least. So good on that. But on the bright side is that peeking did give you at least an advantage because at the very least, I can let you know that due to the Bluegrass Bandits sponsoring this race, you have won a cash prize. I'm not 100% what the cash prize is. I don't want to confirm the value on stream here just in case it's wrong. But at the very least, you have won a cash prize. So congratulations. You have won a monetary value of money. So good job. But anyway, other than that, though, I wish I could tell you the value, but I don't want to get the number wrong and then back them in the corner, so they will let you know what you've won. So anyway, though, that will buy definitely a lot of coffees at the very least for going out at the very least. But anyway, though, as it is ABN tradition, if there's anyone you want to thank, family, friends, sponsor, what have you, the floor is yours. Take it away, Peltier Sharp.
Emma, I just want to say a big thank you to Emma for trusting me and drafting me to drive this season. Game and 4A's bringing knowledge that helps, and Cheeseburger, I want to shout out Cheeseburger massively for just making sure I kept calm on that last restart, because I will admit, whilst I had confidence on the restart, I was starting to get a little nervous that it wouldn't end my way. But he kept me calm, and hey, he finished P12 as well, so good result for him.
Yeah, he had a very eventful day at the very least. But that is that. Thank you for listening, for joining us here in the booth. Enjoy the race victory, and maybe we'll see you go back-to-back next week at Pocono. But you take care. Have a good rest of your week.
You too.
All right, and that was our race winner, Alyssa Peltier Sharp, and that will bring our interview process to a close. We'll take one quick look at the final results here at the least here. If I can find the right graphic here to pull them up. Just give me 2 seconds here. There we go. So we'll hit that button there, and that should, in theory, make that work. Hold up. Got to make sure that's clicked. So hold up. Of course, on the final hurdle, one more graphic breaks. Show results. Do I got the wrong? Oh, yeah, show. My button. No, wait, hold up. There we go. That's the race results, but obviously, hold on. Can it show up here? 1 second. There we go. That's not the race results. That's that is the race results, but it's at the back. So we'll get that fixed up. But there's the race results. It's been an up and down day for technical support here, but we got it all in the finish here. Lily Peltier Sharp, like we said, she won the Bluegrass Bandits 156 here, and she will take home a cash prize for her troubles. And she hanged on just indeed with Brandon Proudfoot finishing second and Noah Blackwell finishing out the final 3 on the podium here. And it would be also helpful if I turn that graphic off there. So give me 1 second. There we go. So anyway, moving on through the field, we got David Hawk, who had a great job. We saw him have another up down day. He'll get a top 5 along with Dustin Painter. We saw him involved in a lot of those opening cautions, and he definitely was able to avoid the chaos and get a nice top 5 for that 65 machine. So he's definitely smiling happy at that. Moving down the field, we got Kenneth Chaney, Tom Sears, Stefan Oberstadt, Ryan Pennell, and Lilac Sear rounding out the top 10. A few of those drivers, again, had very up and down days. Again, sometimes you just got to survive the chaos, and the C's will definitely part and favor you out. Josh Battles got 11th, as Willis said. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence got 12. Mark DeLea 13th. Daniel Michelle, after another, looks like an incident with Bren Roberts, or something happened with Bren Roberts there at the end there, or maybe just got loose on his own. Who knows? He finished 14th. Ryan Gomes 15th. Josh Garrison finished 16th. Michael Joy 17th. Alfred George 18th. And Seth Wands, and we saw him go very wide with 2 to go. He could not recover well and finishes P19, but at least on the lead lap. And Tommy Withers will be the first car, 1 lap down in P number 20. We'll move a little bit further down the field here. We'll slide that graphic nicely down, if it would ever work for me. Hold up. And should show here. Ooh. Okay, slide the 20th. Okay, now slide is, of course, let's make sure everything's good here. Let's see. There we go. Technical difficulties. You'll love them. But anyway, we'll move down the field here. Go for the rest of the order here. You can obviously see Tommy Withers, 20th. Tobias is 21st. First car, 1 down. Had a great pole-sitting car, but just got trouble late. Couldn't get back out. Bren Roberts, 4 down. David Wright, 9 down. Dale Markowski, 10 down. Austin Mongold, 10 down as well. Actually, Dale Markowski was 4. Whatever. 9 down for Dale Markowski, 10 down for Austin Mongold. That will be your top 25. Kevin Feemster, 11 down. Briley Wright, 18 down. Ross Baxter, 21 down. John Hagan, 34 down. We're getting the cars had early retirements here, and Brian Rupert ran up top 30, 56 down. And the rest of these cars, obviously including Hagan, had retirements. Breo, 31st. Adams, 32nd. Oberstadt, 33rd. Brian Torchia, 34th. James Kerr, 35th. Pacey Wygant, 36th. Emma Kruger, 37th. Josh Gaiman, 38th. Patrick Allen, 39th. And Selena Thompson, 40th. Allen and Thompson did not take the flag. Gaiman, your first retirement of the race. So that will do it for that here tonight. I am obviously Kevin Young here. Obviously, next week is Pocono in the A-Square competition, but don't go anywhere. If you do love your racing, Wednesday, the Champ Car Series will be on ABN 1, and they will be racing at Las Vegas, so tune into that if you love some Champ Car battle or machinery. The season rages on. We'll see how that continues on. Obviously, for A-Square competition, they will be back here next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern for the Pocono race. So until then, I am Kevin Young. Thank you for tuning in for this long, and thank you for joining us on ABN 2, and hopefully we'll catch you again next time. So take care and have a good rest of your week.